you were streaming me saying "Let's go live," so
Oh,
they know this is manufactured.
shit.
That I'm not. This is like all a personality I like put on for the camera, and
No,
like
no.
we plan out every bit. We plan out every like interaction. None of our interactions
All
are
highly
like, towards anyone.
scripted.
It's all
Yeah, that's
scripted.
right.
But
Just
yeah,
like
so
Hutch's debate today. Did you debate people today, Hutch? I didn't catch all of it.
No, I don't think so.
With the PK something podcast?
Oh no,
PK?
that was from last week. I was just reviewing it.
Oh. Right, I'll have to watch it.
Oh.
I'll have to watch it, bro. Sorry. How you boys doing?
We're
Good.
good, but
Chilling.
Pisco, I heard you
Yeah.
got destroyed.
What are you talking about? I
Ryan
won.
Mullally claimed
Everyone's
epic
talking about it.
victory.
The vote is rigged. Do you understand the vote is rigged? And I
Everyone's
told
talking
you guys it would be rigged. I love it, by the way.
Yeah, it's
Go
like the debate con people. This was originally set up by like the Andrew Wilson crew, right? But like some
Wow.
drama happened. What do you know about this? Or-
I'm not going to speak out of turn. All I'll say is they treated me very nicely. And listen, there were Proud Boys there. My guess is that there is possible that there might have been some differences of opinion or whatever. But I actually thought Ben Swan is a low key MVP. If you guys watched any of the show that happened, yeah, that guy was like very debonair, very dashing, and he did a really good job moderating. It turns out it's actually not that hard to moderate, counter to what Andrew Wilson was trying to claim. But it was a lot of fun.
Were you
Okay,
at the
but
same
you
event where Anna Kasparian debated Pearl?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
was one of the most one-sided debates I've ever seen in my life.
She
Yes.
froze. Pearl literally froze.
It
Like,
was tough to be in the audience.
Wow, I gotta
will-
watch that.
she froze,
it
bro.
was
Can I
Wait,
watch
do you
it?
have the clip? Can we play it on stream?
Yeah.
No, there are multiple pause moments.
Wait, there are multiple
and-
times where she just completely freezes up. This is
Yeah.
Pearl. This is like the red pill girl who like I don't
Yeah,
even know. Like, what do you even call her ideology? She's never said anything that I find even remotely intelligent enough to say like you have an ideology. But like,
yeah. Well, we'll do a full recap. I'm gonna do a Kick exclusive stream after this show because
Kick
I'm so close to
exclusive.
the requirements for Kick verification. I just need 7 more subs. So guys, I need 7 people to sub to me on Kick, and then it'll go to YouTube too. But no, there were multiple moments in that debate which we'll take a look at.
I just linked it.
where
I just linked it. I
yeah,
just linked it.
yeah. Take a look at this.
oh, we're opening it. Oh, cool! It's the Micah posted it too. Micah's just a viral boy, huh?
He's a boy and he's viral,
All right, Let's
just like
see
me
this.
right now.
Let's
Are
see
you-
this epic debate. This is what politics is all about.
Just making things up? Pearl, what are you doing? Like, seriously.
It was horrible.
Next
There are
question.
multiple. So she's supposed to be interrogating Anna right now. She's supposed to be asking Anna questions. Oh my
Oh,
god.
no.
Ugh.
That silence feels so much
How many
longer.
women
Oh.
die every year during childbirth? Not many.
It was so bad.
This country has the highest maternal mortality rate of any developed country. So a lot of women do die as a result of pregnancy and childbirth, yes.
Oh,
no.
it was so horrible. So I'm in the audience right now. I'm like trying to kill myself.
Looks like she has like a microphone ear or something, like someone telling her what to say. That's the only thing I could think of.
Jeez.
No, she literally froze. Like she literally froze up.
The moderator had to like come save her multiple times to like, let me ask you a question now, because like how they structured it was a little bit different from my and Ryan debate. Like they had interrogation times for internal critiques, and so Anna started with a bunch of questions for Pearl, and she was not pulling back any punches. It was like that moment when Cartman gets beat up by Wendy, or the moment where Homer Simpson is beating up the Hamburglar. Like it was horrible. She was not pulling anything back. And then when it was Pearl's time, she just kept asking like questions like, why do they say that an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Like just questions about phrasing of memes, like weird repetitive questions about alimony, and then just like outright freezies. Like it was horrible.
Wow.
Meanwhile,
think anyone's
Anna is
mind
like
changed?
she's so scorched earth all the time. So like this is nothing to her, you know.
Can I just say, she was very sweet and genuine in person.
But what do you attribute it to, Pisco? Was she like on drugs, or was she just like caught in the headlights? Like
I think some
what-
people
how
are
do you just
debaters
freeze
and
like that?
no. So I don't think, I'm not gonna get into inside baseball stuff, but I don't think that it was because she didn't try to prepare for this type of thing. I think she did try to prepare, but not everyone is built the same way, right? Like not everyone is built to do a debate at all or the same style of debate, right? What happened on that stage isn't like what you'll see on whatever or what you'll see on Tim Pool or what we do sometimes internally. Like they're very different styles, and some people are bad at all styles. Some people are really, really, really good in one format, and other formats don't work as well. And just so you guys can, it's not just me just talking shit. I think that the style that Ryan and I had in our debate tends to, I think I wiped the floor with him. If you actually follow the argument, it's so fucking easy. I totally.
That's not what the poster says, Pisco. There's a big
yes,
X
the vote,
over your face.
The vote was rigged because they're all MAGA supporters. All right, the vote was fucking rigged. But that format tends to help people who filibuster and who just have the gift of the gab, because it's not as well for the Socratic thing I do on these kind of online styles. So yeah, the formats shift according to different people's skills, and I don't think Pearl is necessarily made for that format, and I just don't think it suits her.
But wait, did the MAGA people, did they choose her?
No. Oh no. Okay, so this is what you're saying. Okay, this is what you're saying.
If
So
they chose Anna, I don't know. I mean, it seems like they're an unbiased.
So you're
crowd.
saying, excuse me. So you're saying because there was a historically awful performance in one of the biggest beatdowns in debate history.
Put yourself down,
that
Pisco.
Oh my God! You know what? I was gonna recommend you for World War II, but now I'm not so sure.
It's a rough week for Pisco. He lost a debate to me, and then he lost one to Ryan. That's crazy.
Wow. Time to take a break.
You know what? I'll you guys absolutely can take your fake W's with your rigged audiences. That's all good. You know what? All the real ones know who won those debates.
Oh, did you declare victory? Because that's what those guys always
do.
I
did, yeah. So they did an interview. I don't know if they actually showed it, but Ryan is it's so pathetic. I'm not saying Ryan Mullally, like, we had a great time. His behavior is so pathetic. He's replying to like Ted Cruz with like 0 interactions on his post, being like, look at how I stomped Pisco. Pisco annihilated. Like, Ted Cruz doesn't know who Pisco is, my guy. But in the debate where he got raffle stomped.
He knows who I am. He retweeted me one
Cruz
time.
Cruz retweeted you?
Yeah, he did.
No fucking shot. Well, anyway, so go for it.
He wasn't like he shouted freedom or something like that at TPUSA event or something, and then I slowed it down and said it sounded like Braveheart, and then he quote retweeted me. So I'm pretty famous. If you guys need
he also
look cool. That's the only reason.
He also retweeted like porn that time.
He did on 9/11. On 9/11, he liked a porn tweet.
Wait, that was kind of old though, because the porn star looked like his wife.
Was that his explanation for it?
No, his explanation, it was an intern, but I think it was Ted Cruz.
It was obviously Ted Cruz. Yeah.
I will say, shout out Eddie Bravo. We'll talk more about this during my Kick exclusive stream. But he came up to me because one of the producers was talking to me about flat Earth, and it was a very interesting conversation. I just got to say, a lot of funny people there, a lot of great stories, and yeah, it was a great time. I think that you guys would do well in these kinds of situations, and there even is like ideas that they have. Listen, I'm sure this is all dark money. It's all conservatives funded by like horrible foreign interests or whatever. But I don't think that it's bad for us to spread our ideas. There was talk even of like having debate teams or different people representing worldviews, and many references were made to you guys. So I was happily encouraging them, if they wanted, to reach out to you guys, and if you guys had any interest in banging with the best, that they could do that.
I have no interest in doing a live debate like that.
Oh shit. Ever.
Why, Hutch?
No.
I've been begging Hutch to do Jubilee.
Why wouldn't you do
black held on it? I don't know about you, Hutch, but like the more I see these, just like anyone who calls it blood sports debating, or like this ridiculous like shouting matches where it's like everyone already knew what they were going to say beforehand, and it's just who can be most optically like, oh, I got you real good. And it's like, yeah, I can get those clips and that's fine and all, and sometimes this convinces people, but it's so like, it feels like such a waste of time, especially when the people on the other side are so fucking stupid that they won't even like listen to the words you're saying. It's just like, hey, that's a good point. How can I deflect? It's not, hey, how can I acknowledge what you're saying? Like the only thing close to this is two people sitting down for like a 2 or 3 hour conversation, and that never happens.
It's not that I judge people who like that kind of thing. If you like that, that's fine. I'm a pretty like, I don't know, what's the word for, you're introverted, but you still, like, I do need social interaction, but there's like a hard cap. like a hard cap, like 2 to 4 hours of like socializing with people, and then I have
You want to be like left alone?
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
in my older years
Well,
for sure. Yeah.
I just think it's a good skill. Like it forces you to think about your arguments a little more differently. It might make you go buy a new like dress shirt or something, a new pair of shoes. It just kind of forces a bunch of other things,
You look like you have a lot of fun when you do it. You look super comfortable up there. It's fun watching you when you do the Jubilee stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, you look
And I
really
was
good
nervous
at
as
it.
shit. I was nervous as shit. I could barely speak my first appearance. So
You
it's
couldn't
definitely
tell.
one of those things you just got to
Yeah,
jump in the deep end.
It
You
doesn't
kicked
show,
ass on
bro.
those.
Yeah.
It doesn't show
And
at
the
all.
thing is, you did the Ben Shapiro one, right? I think I saw the clip.
Yes.
And like the way that you were able to like, I think Ben Shapiro is like bad faith sometimes, but he will like acknowledge truth, and like that's why I think your clip works so well, because you got him to acknowledge like, hey, but this is reality, right? And like,
Yeah.
I think a lot of these people, especially the ones that go to this like word war debate, is that what it's called? Like, or just like, why am I? Speaking
Yeah,
to you? Like,
they're all
wasting my
MAGA
time.
people. They're all MAGA people. But I will say, after the debate, number one, I had a bunch of like, or a couple people come up to take pictures. At least one AV production assistant came up and said, "I'm a big fan of you, a big fan of Destiny, I'm a big fan of what you guys do." And so that was a very cool moment. But a bunch of MAGA people came up to me and were like, "Listen, I obviously don't agree with like anchor babies. That's what they term the birthright citizenship thing as." But they were like, when you said that shit about what if Democrats got in power and did what they were doing with us, that Ryan's rule would allow for, it actually like that really, I hadn't heard that before. And so I was really happy with how the crowd was reacting to it. I know that like people will say that nothing can ever change the mind of MAGA people. And I think that usually that's true, but sometimes framing it as a different issue. It's not about anchor babies. It's about what Democrats could do to you if they had the power to like ultimately adjust birthright citizenship. They do hear a little bit more from that vantage point.
Did you guys see that the Groypers were disavowing the Minnesota shooter because his wife is from the Philippines and they're trying to get her parents?
No.
Good segue.
And they're trying to get her parents to get citizenship, like literal like chain migration is what they call it. Yeah. Anyway, so there was a
Well, he also
wait.
killed a white person, right? Which they would hate.
He did. Well, a white LGBT person, right? Is that
now that
confirmed?
we've like looped into the identity politics, it's like what on the oppression Olympics like do Groypers rate like a gay white woman, like whether or not they want to preserve that part of the white race?
No,
right?
she's
I don't
fair
know.
game, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you look at the Groypers, I feel like it's like one of those like coexist stickers on the back of a car, or like one of those with like all the colors of the rainbow, because they're actually more ethnically diverse than you would think, and like very I'm a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I'm surprised sometimes at how many black people of like LGBT Q identity join the Groyper movement, given all of their at least stated beliefs.
Hey, it started by a Fuentes, right? It doesn't really make any sense. So
He calls himself Afro Latino.
I got a super for you, Hutch, from Ben Riley, who says, try to explain to Hutch to avoid narrating the ice shooting with so many adverbs, adjectives, or mind reading. Then tell him the HTML first, JavaScript, CSS later. Also, Pisco is our senior legal correspondent.
Oh shit!
I
should get
there
the
seems to be
title.
three things in here. What, are you building a website?
No. I don't know what all the coding stuff means. I'm
Well,
lost
I
with
do.
that.
Like HTML is like what websites are built off. JavaScript is like if you have like functions. And
Oh,
CSS is
shit.
Styling. I just don't know why he's telling you to do this.
He's I think he's using like coding language to make his point. But I was covering the shooting, and I was using a lot of words like clearly, objectively, obviously, stuff like that. And he was saying to not do that. But I was saying it in the context of so like there was a moment where we didn't have the footage from the officer, right? Like he had recorded stuff from his phone, and there were like 3 different angles of that shooting. And we didn't really have like a clear view into the of the driver and what she was doing. And then they finally released that footage.
Yeah.
And you can very clearly, obviously see her quickly turning her wheel right before she even hit the accelerator.
Yep.
And I was saying that this obviously clearly shows that her intent was not to run him over. I don't know if we want to kick off the conversation this way.
Yeah,
but
no,
like,
yeah, that's
happy
a
to.
good kickoff.
Yeah.
I think that's completely fair to say. I mean, the narrative that you have to go with, and like you have to ask these questions when you're like, we were supposed to have a conservative on, but they never showed up because they're all scared. But
AJW said he'd be down, just not tonight because he had dinner plans.
Oh,
but
sure.
he said he's down to come on.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's actually a pretty reasonable, not reasonable. He's a not adversarial, mean person in real life. I met him at Amfest. But he did say I look like John Doyle, which might be an insult. The idea that you have to ask every conservative, like before you get into the like nitty gritty of like, was it justified? You have to ask them, do you think this woman was trying to kill him? And if they say yes,
Right.
like, I just don't know what video they watched, because if I was in that car and I was trying to kill that guy, I wouldn't turn to the right if he's on the left side. And I wouldn't be smiling and saying, I'm not mad at you. Yeah, it's just like this ridiculous narrative of like, oh, they tried to run him over. And that's what comes from Kristi Noem and Donald Trump saying he got run over. And Donald Trump hadn't even seen the video. So they've like completely run with this like evil narrative of this like domestic terrorist. And now
Vance.
the video comes out and it's like, oh,
And-
she like maybe swiped him. But even then, it looks like his hand was on the car because he's leaning on the car. Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's totally inconclusive. You can't tell at all whether he was hit. And for me, it doesn't matter if he was. Anyone who focuses on that, I mean, I do it just because people will like assert it that there's clear evidence that shows that he was hit. But that's not the standard. The standard is objective reasonableness, and the standard is as laid out by SCOTUS and other laws and statutes, the deadly force standard for officers. And we just need to apply that if we're having a conversation about whether or not this was a justified shooting. If you want to talk about something else, if they want to say that she's a terrorist, I mean, I think it's ridiculous. It's laughable. And that's a pretty good, I guess what you're saying, Soy Pill, is a good like gut check to tell if the people that you're talking to are coming at it in good faith, because no one can watch that video and seriously contend that Kristi Noem, JD Vance are telling the truth when they call her like, oh, intending to run him over or this kind of stuff. So maybe it's useful for that, actually.
So wait,
Well,
go ahead, Guy.
I just want to say that the investigation will reveal what really happened, right? We hope, though Minnesota not being included is alarming. But what I've been doing is just confronting people like what Soy Pill said on the language used by Trump, that the officer was viciously ran over and lucky to be alive and recovering in the hospital. All fake, all lies. And then Kristi Noem's calling it an act of domestic terrorism. Usually you don't try to avoid your victims when you're committing terrorism, but hey, what do I know?
No, I mean, that it's so clear that she's trying to avoid it. The initiation of the turn in the first place, her demeanor, and just putting that aside, if we took this rule that anytime a vehicle is sort of in the direction of a person, it constitutes de facto or by itself justification for the use of deadly force, do you want to know how many incidents would qualify for that? It's insane. So this is not the standard. You just have to apply the constitutional and legal standard if that's what you're looking for. If you're trying to talk about something else, talk about it. But like, so many people will just invent a new standard, which is, was he hit or not? And if he was hit, you must acquit. Like, that is what they're trying to turn this conversation into, about whether he was hit or not. That's not the inquiry. They need to give a test. Once they have the test, they need to apply the test. But they never do that because they don't have a test. They're just going off of their feels.
Did you see your former co-host, or and maybe you guys are on hiatus, Straderade was on Tim Pool talking about this?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet.
Tim, one of Tim's biggest arguments is, well, this has happened to him before, and he has PTSD from it, so he reacted differently. Which is like, I don't know. Maybe you could speak on this as the we call you the senior legal correspondent. But if someone has a experience that would otherwise make them act irrationally or differently from a reasonable person, whatever that
if Aaron was arguing
that at all, like
if Aaron was arguing against that, she was right. Like, the whole reason why we don't look to good faith of the officer at either is because the test isn't subjective reasonableness or subjective beliefs, it's objective reasonableness. So you need to show that an objectively reasonable officer in the position of said cop would do X, Y, or Z. And obviously, an objectively reasonable officer wouldn't be operating using trauma. Like, saying it's trauma that caused the response is another way of saying, like,
should have been on leave.
Correct. Like, it's a way of saying that he wasn't in his right mind.
Yes.
And that, of course, is not an objective reasonable test. That's like a maybe it's a way to explain away the conduct. Maybe you could like downgrade it from murder or something for some other form of homicide through one of these, I don't know, state rules, but it's not the test for justification.
I've been telling my chat, like, I've been saying it on the podcast too, like, don't underestimate Vance. He's an intelligent guy. He's a shrewd guy. But when he said that during that press conference on Friday, I was like, that's pretty fucking dumb, because you're making the case that he should have been doing a desk job, or he should have been put on leave. Like, that's not that's not a justification for the killing. I mean, back to what we were talking about, like, in terms of the wheel positioning and her steering wheel. In a particular context, it doesn't really matter what her intent was, because if he had a legit fear, like, or credible or reasonable,
right? It's his apprehension of her intent that matters, right?
But it does establish, like, really firmly that not that we didn't already know this, but like Christine Noem getting up there and saying that, you know, literally not even before her body was cold, was so unbelievably unprofessional. Like, even a Republican senator, was it Tillis? Is he a Republican?
Yeah, Tom Tillis.
Tom Tillis.
North Carolina.
He came out, he spoke about how this is really unusual for the Secretary of Department of Homeland Security to get up there and make such a declarative statement like that. To use language like calling her a terrorist, like the word terrorist. And I don't know if you guys saw the Tapper interview, but he did a pretty decent job grilling her on this.
I did.
And
I don't watch Tapper anymore after he mutilated my boy Biden.
He's a bit of a mixed bag, but
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
He was good in that interview, and she was just she was totally non-responsive. Like, you would ask her questions, and it was like 3 or 4 questions in a row. She just completely dodged the question.
Yeah, she wouldn't take the bait. She wouldn't engage. She stuck to her original narrative, which was ridiculous. She stuck to her original story of the ICE officers were stuck in the snow and they were trying to push their car out, and then this woman came barreling down trying to run them over. It's basically how she described it at first, and she's like, well, that's the facts. It's like, that's not the facts at all, you nut. What do you guys think of? Some Democrats are saying we should shut down the government, and not shut down the government in exchange for ICE training being extended. Right now, I guess it's like 48 days for new officers. I don't know how true it is, but
support. Yes. I think they
so
should.
I think Democrats.
Do it. Yes.
Hell yeah.
That's the wedge issue, though. Like, if they say, okay, we'll give more training to ICE agents. And I was going to say, like, that should be the expectation. But, like, I don't know if we like, ICE is doing horrible things. The worst part about ICE is not that they're incompetent dumbasses. That is a big bad thing. But if you
defund ICE, dismantle ICE, destroy it,
to be better at doing what they're doing, that can't be our win from the shutdown. It's like, oh, like that is the, like, left wing. You know, the Democrats are just diet Republicans, and when we say, oh yeah, like, what's the win? It's like, well, we have the more trained ICE, you know, like, oh, great, cool.
Hold on. I think that a lot of people are saying get rid of ICE and all this, and I agree that the agency is poisoned and probably gonna have to be remade when Democrats take over. But we still want, maybe you guys disagree, but I still want ICE out there getting bad criminals out of communities. I mean, does anybody?
I don't want ICE doing it. I want some other people doing it. I want some other people.
Abolish ICE. This is like one of the things that I've, like, fully moved left on, because before I'm like, this is like abolish the police. This is ridiculous. Obviously, we need some sort of law enforcement, immigration enforcement. When you see how rotten to the core this institution is and how corrupt and evil they are operating, I'm like, destroy this institution and remake it and enforce immigration some other way. I want ICE gone. So it's not cool, more training.
I think that's probably politically dumb, but I mean, as of like right now.
Do you agree? Like, maybe it's bad to say rhetorically. Is it something you agree with?
I'm just going to say it. Fuck ICE.
Wait, hold on.
I'm just going to say it.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Fuck ICE. It is rotten. You're 100% right about that. I'm not talking about, like, the idea of abolishing ICE. I'm not opposed to that. I'm saying that if you run on abolish ICE right now, then you are going to run into that issue where a lot of people, they're going to twist it and they're going to turn it into they don't want to enforce immigration.
Yeah,
and
they might say something crazy like Democrats are for open borders and they want an invasion.
Well, they
to continue.
will.
And a good thing they would never say that. So,
they will do that, and it'll probably work on a lot of.
They've been doing it for years, right? Like, how much worse can their lies about Democrat positions get?
They're doing it now. They're saying, like, oh, we actually were trying to arrest a child molester, and Democrats don't want ICE to do that, right? That's what they're going to say, stuff like that.
And if you have, like, the entire party running on abolish ICE, you're just kind of giving them a layup there. So you can run on aggressively implementing reforms, and I think that's probably the politically smart.
I would say abolish ICE, fund CBP. That's my new fucking strat.
Okay.
Fund CBP.
I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, there was a civics poll that came out today that showed support for abolishing ICE went up 17 points.
Hell
since
yeah.
the,
Fuck ICE.
since the incident. So this incident is clearly not like, I think the Republicans thought this would be a total layup. They saw that one, they got really stuck on that one really grainy one where you don't really see the angle at all. And they thought this was a slam dunk, but the public is very much sympathizing with the protesters right now. I thought it was also really good that we had thousands of people protesting over the weekend and it didn't devolve into like a riotous kind of violent thing. And so we have public opinion on our side at the moment. I think there's like movement towards like being sympathetic to abolishing ICE, but it's still unpopular. It's like 42-50. So, conventional wisdom would tell you don't run on unpopular things.
This is
Don't free the slaves.
This is probably
Just
ran
kidding.
into with defund the police. Is like we just assume people would understand what that meant. Like, oh well, that means then we're gonna move some of the duties onto some other services, but we still want some cops. People don't have the imagination to figure it out. So I worry
agree with
about
that.
criticizing
Rhetorically,
ICE too hard.
I agree. Like, yeah, if you say abolish ICE, that's going to be
Yeah.
way more detrimental to your campaign than if you say heavily reform ICE, and when you get elected, you actually end up, destroying and reforming it into something new. You can't run on just get rid of it. That's a soundbite that could be used against you.
We can and should criticize the fuck out of ICE right now. Like
My campaign strategy would be fuck ICE. That's my logo.
Every day that passes, there's like a dozen new videos of ICE agents acting wildly unprofessional. Like it is so apparent that they cut back the days that they train these people. There's no professionalism. I watched a video today of a guy encircled by 5 ICE agents. He's screaming at the agents. They're getting into an altercation. He has a serious problem with one of the guys. One of the other ICE officers, he looks at him and says, "I'll talk calm to you. I'll speak calmly to you because you're speaking calmly to me." And the other ICE agent, like that's a moment right there of de-escalation. That is like ideal situation. You have an interlocutor on the ICE side that is the man is willing to speak like calmly to. And the guy right next to him, an ICE agent he just like in that moment jumped in and escalated it immediately. Just started screaming at the guy, saying he was going to arrest him. Like how many dozens of videos have we seen of ICE walking up to people doing constitutionally protected things? Like you can monitor ICE, you can follow them, you can record them as long as you're not impeding their arrests or their the course of their duties or anything like that. And we've seen dozens of ICE agents walking up and did you not learn your lesson? Like these putrid fucks should be criticized like relentlessly by this party. I'm just saying we should stop short at like abolish.
Okay, what
Fuck
about
'em in the ass.
Nuremberg trials for current ICE, and then we'll put in good ICE agents?
I'm saying we could threaten a shutdown over some major changes to ICE and how they are trained, starting with training, like double the training, but also, some of their actions. Like
Democrats
I think
can't fund this government. Democrats can't vote to fund this government without getting something in return. I don't understand. This should be so clear. I'm glad you. Oh,
Never,
what? Hutch?
Wow.
It's a must
Again,
pass moment. Get something every time. We should be getting something every time.
Hell yeah.
Again,
What did we get last time?
You can't force compliance out of this Republican Party. You just can't force them to do things. If they decide to dig their heels in again and say, we're not going to.
Then it shuts down. Shut the bitch down.
Yeah.
Then you exploit the shutdown for as much
So, wait,
political
Hutch.
value as you can extract and then end the shutdown. Because you guys cannot seriously be justifying like several months of not sending SNAP payments for a Republican Party that's not.
I am.
Snaps off the table. Snaps off the table through September, so we don't have to worry about that. But Hutch, you wouldn't support shutting down the government over major reform to ICE. You don't think the public would be behind us on that?
Well, hang on. What you just told me changes the calculus. What did you just say?
Okay.
The SNAP payments are what now?
SNAP payments are off the table through the end of the fiscal year. That was part of the deal the Democrats made to fund the government.
If that's the situation, then I would be way more amenable to a prolonged shutdown. But I'm not. I'm not.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just think that there might be some momentum here to force some changes from ICE and how Trump is using them with this shutdown.
I want to push Hutch a little bit in our ritualistic conversation. All right, Hutch. Why the fuck does it change anything? Trump was already illegally withholding SNAP funding. So if it changed your calculation and then Trump started illegally withholding SNAP funding in month 2, and you'd be like, but it's funded till September. Wouldn't you
court-
just
The
wouldn't
courts forced his compliance there. The courts checked him on that, on withholding
That-
SNAP payments.
that wasn't enough for you to be assuaged at the time that the shutdown was lifted by Democrats? There was still some runway.
No, we've already had this conversation though. I said that I think that they could have gone like a little bit longer, is what I said. But like I literally like 1 or 2 more weeks. But there does get to a point of diminishing returns. Like if you do have a prolonged shutdown that lasts for like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, then you do risk the political benefit of the shutdown fight that we had in the first place. Obviously, that benefited Democrats substantially. Like we've seen the polling, they overwhelmingly blame Republicans correctly and Trump for the expiring tax credits. But if you keep a shutdown going for like 4 months, especially given that it was also going into holiday season, you do run the risk of like people just at some point saying, okay, this just needs to end. And then you lose all the political benefit that you got in the first place. And so I think
Wait, who does Trump or Democrats?
no, the Democrats.
Yeah, but what is feeding that intuition? I mean, we saw the Republicans being blamed. I don't understand what feeds the intuition that Democrats be blamed as opposed to Republicans. That's what I never understood.
But can you not understand what I'm saying? Like if it's a 4-month shutdown, a 5-month shutdown, then you're talking about
why does that change who will be blamed for it? That's what I don't want to know.
Because people will feel directly the impact of that shutdown over time. Like you and me, maybe we didn't feel the impact of the shutdown. Right away.
Why would that change who people would blame?
Because people at a certain point don't want to do those sacrifices.
I know, but why would that change? Why would that change whether they blame Republicans more than Democrats?
Are you playing dumb right now? What are you doing?
No, I'm not.
On this, why would they shift?
Why would they switch their target of who they blame?
No. You're not understanding what I'm saying. At a certain point, if people experience the chaos, especially going into holiday season with air travel, people are, all over the country, stuck in airports for like.
Yes, they'll blame Trump more.
Literally.
Yes, they'll blame Trump more.
No.
You'll be more mad at Trump.
You don't understand the risk of that person in that moment saying, I don't care who ends this shutdown, but someone needs to end it. And at that point, you have lost some of that political value because people don't
in
care
virtue
at
of
that
what?
point.
In virtue of but like they were blaming Republicans. So what? Why would they change?
We're
from being
circling the drain here. I can repeat myself, but you keep repeating yourself. The more prolonged it gets, the more you risk losing that political benefit.
Why? I don't understand why.
That's what I don't explained it to you.
No, but you did say why. You just said they might.
I did.
They might decide with whoever ends it.
Hold on. Let me try it again. Did any of us directly feel the impact of the shutdown? Like
irrelevant, not answering.
I
did any of us feel the
irrelevant,
impact of
not
the shutdown?
answering.
Did
Irrelevant, not answer.
Shut the fuck up. Mute his mic. I swear to God. Did any of us feel it? Probably not, right? Like mostly not. But if it goes on for 4 months, all of us are going to feel it in some form or another. And at that point, people get impatient and they don't care who's to blame. They just want it to end. And the longer it goes on, the longer they're thinking either party could stop this right now. Like the Democrats could stop it right now. And you do risk losing that political benefit.
Well, can I give a story too? I'll give a Justo story. Yeah, the longer this goes on, the more angry they'll be at the people that they're blaming for it, namely Republicans. Therefore, the longer it goes on and the more pain they feel, the more they'll blame Republicans.
Maybe.
Why does that story not make sense?
Maybe that happens. I'm saying it's a risk.
I
would say a considerable risk.
The Republicans would have been blamed more. May have the gap may have shrunk over time, but in the end, they still would have been blamed more. I think. But I agree with you, Hutch. I wish they had held out longer. But look, we just had a vote on a clean 3-year extension of the ACA enhanced subsidies.
Republicans voted for it, right?
Passed in the House.
17.
Passed in the
It's
House.
dead in it's dead in the Senate though. But the thing is, if it passes,
I don't know.
go for it.
Well, because people like Van Orden voted for it. These are total Trump dick riders, and they voted for it. So there may be some momentum there that ends up getting a vote in the Senate eventually, and it passes, and Trump signs it. So in the end, we may get what we ultimately wanted. But we still won because we moved the issue to the forefront, and now we're seen as the party fighting
that I agree on. Net Democrats are better off for raising the issue in the first place. No doubt about that. And I think that was a good issue. Ultimately, I think that's totally fine. And so I'm not here saying Democrats are useless at everything. I'm not that kind of guy. I love Democrats. I love the Dems. All right. But I'm just saying we just want a little bit more fight. We want some viciousness. That's what I want.
Can I ask you guys a hypothetical?
Yes.
If we had a crystal ball, excuse me, if we had a crystal ball and I could tell you with 100% certainty that the Republican Party will never concede anything because they're too beholden to Trump's interest right now?
Yes, I would.
Explain that to me. Please explain that to me.
Because they won't concede doesn't mean the voters.
What I was
won't
going to
wait.
ask is, would you be okay with stretching the shutdown for a year?
Yes. Yes.
If
Yeah.
you knew that
I'm
you
pretty
weren't
sure-
going to get any concessions?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because you don't get a
Why?
concession
You
doesn't
will.
mean
Yes, I'll tell you
voters
why.
don't view the
So-
Republicans worse and
so-
vote for you. Like that isn't that what we want for them to be out?
Yeah, that's your argument, Hutch. That you
Hold
would
on.
you would
Say that
you would
again?
partner with civil rights
because-
abolitionists to defeat fascists.
Yeah, just
What-
because,
hold on,
just
what
because we
parallel
don't
are
get
you
any
drawing here? Hold
just
on.
because we don't get any concessions in the Senate from the shutdown. Let's say they're stubborn as a mule. Your crystal ball is 100% correct. Does not mean that the voter base is going to say, "Look who's in charge. They are fucking us. They've been fucking us for a year. We are not reelecting them." That's the win.
And you guys think that you would have like the support of the broader electorate for a year-long shutdown? You are
Yes.
fucking insane.
Wait, why?
You are in a bubble, an internet
No.
bubble. If
Hold
you
on.
think
I'm
the
not saying that
public
the
would back
majority
a
of voters.
year-long
I'm
They're
not
gonna
saying-
they're gonna blame Trump. They're gonna blame Trump. Trump's in
charge.
charge. They're gonna blame
Oh,
Trump.
wait, Hutch.
Just
Hutch,
You have
you don't
lost
think
your
even
mind.
they would blame the Republicans even 1% more? You don't think that even 1% more blame would?
I think beyond a
benefit us?
certain point, the broad electorate are gonna get to a point where it's like, I don't care who ends this, but it has to end.
Based
You
on what?
cannot
in
shut
virtue
the
of
government-
what? What is feeding that intuition?
Because you cannot shut the fucking government down for a year, Pisco. It's
No, yeah,
not.
but like, do you have any
tenable.
other than like it
There would
feels
be
like they
so
wouldn't like
much
this? Do you have
disruption
like
and chaos.
precedent?
Yes,
or,
that
like,
they
a
would blame
poll
on
or like
Trump, the people in power, Trump who won the
That makes it
election.
worth it. I mean, we already have a huge
Yes.
advantage, but we already have a huge advantage on them
We need-
electorally right
The
now.
inches we need are all around us, Hutch.
You
All
are
right, this is.
already
We need to win
demolished
Alaska. We need to win Alaska. We need to win Iowa. We need to get Carrie Lake in there. Did you guys see that? Carrie Lake, like apparently moving to Iowa to.
Yeah.
That would be a fucking gift from God above. No, listen, Hutch. This is my calculation. I'll tell you what. When I determine what action we should take, I look at the different situations, the different worlds that could exist, and whatever I think the least harmful outcome is the decision by and large I'm going to take. And I think you and I agree with that. Okay, we love taking the least bad option. Agreed?
Generally, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
generally, yes.
In principle, yes.
We agree on that. So I
Uh-huh.
think having a persistent shutdown based on a principle of Democrats don't give votes to fund a government without something in return, a principle that we used to uphold, that doing that
When
when the Republicans are unwilling with our crystal ball to budge on anything, and we knew it for a certainty, is still preferable to giving in. Because I don't believe that there's going to be mass death in America because of that situation.
that's death. Wait, what? That's the only
mass
metric
death?
here?
Not the only metric. I don't think that the consequences to the health and well-being of the American people are such that it overcomes how much gain there is for Democrats in terms of political advantage in the fight for our country, Hutch, which is the fight against fascism, which you agree with. So if it's the case that the government is not funded for a year, and if it's the case that Republicans are going to be blamed more for it, which I think it
Okay, hold
will,
on.
then I think it's worth it.
Okay, let me ask you a question, okay? This is really important. Would
Mhm.
you agree to a year-long government shutdown if it meant that you did not receive any income in that year?
Wait. A year-long shutdown for me, myself?
Yes.
Yeah,
If it meant that you did not receive any income for an entire year.
Yeah.
During
So,
that time, for as long as the shutdown is going.
I did answer yes to that question, Hutch, just so you're aware. But this is another example. I love Hutch. I want to say I love Hutch. I love beautiful Hutch. Hutch is beautiful.
Don't do that.
This is
disclaimer.
no.
Don't do
But I
that.
will say that was one of the slimiest debate tactics I've ever seen. Basically, what you're saying is
It's not
So
slimy.
it is slimy. It is slimy.
No,
So
it's not.
wait, Hutch,
No.
Hutch. I just want to explain why it is slimy. Will you give me the space to explain why it's slimy? Will you give me the space to explain it? I just don't want to be. I just don't want to be interrupted when I say it.
You're
I won't say it.
volunteering other people.
Wait,
for a hunger
Hutch,
strike.
Hutch,
It's
That's
like
what you're
saying
doing.
like
Hutch,
you support
Hutch.
the Ukraine
Wait,
war.
I just
Will
want
you
the
go
You're
on
not
space.
the one
line?
losing your
I-
income.
Hutch,
You're
Hutch,
not the one
Hutch,
losing your
Hutch,
government
Hutch.
benefits or your income.
Can I
okay?
have the space to explain why I think it's slimy to use that debate tactic without
If
interruption?
you are not prepared to make the same exact sacrifices that you're asking other people to make.
I'm just
during the
asking
shutdown,
whether or not I
that's
can
a
have the
fair
space.
Question. That is a
I'm just
fair question.
no. I just want
Respectfully.
to know if you will give me the space without interruption to explain why it was a slimy debate tactic.
Shh. Okay, guys.
Okay, without interruption, thankful. All right. So the reason why it was a slimy debate tactic, because what it's trying to draw out is whether or not I personally would be a hypocrite. And whether or not I personally would be a hypocrite, even if it were the case that I would be a hypocrite, it doesn't mean it's not in the best interest of the country to do what I'm proposing. The question is on what would be best for the country, not whether Pisco himself is a hypocrite in that he would personally give up his income to accomplish what's best for the overall country. And so I'm finishing now. So given that you understand the issue is what's in the best interest of the country, and given that whether I'm a hypocrite is irrelevant to that, you bringing it up is meant to put me in the position of seeming like a limousine liberal, put me in a position of either confessing to being a hypocrite or people saying I don't believe you because you would never sacrifice yourself for the country.
I mean, I think it's fair to point out that we are not going to be the ones that are paying that sacrifice for a government shutdown. In fact, we probably benefit because more chaos gives us content. Our incomes probably go up as a result of this. But that wouldn't be the case for the how many federal workers are on the payroll that would lose their paychecks, or how many people are relying on government programs that could be potentially impacted by these kinds of things. I don't.
You think I'm unaware of that?
But I don't think it's irrelevant to say that we are volunteering other people to make that sacrifice.
Yeah,
It's
but Hutch,
easy
we
for
do
us
this
to
all the
say-
time. Like, would you say you're a hypocrite if you don't want to go die in the front lines, but you're voting for a war that you think is just? Like, yeah, a little bit, but that doesn't mean the war isn't just.
I
right?
understand that. So I understand the point you're making. But in this hypothetical that I just gave you, you're not really articulating what the benefit of a year-long shutdown would be.
Yes, we did.
A political benefit? We are already
Winning
beating
the
them
next
by a
election,
margin.
yeah.
Hold on. We are already beating them by a margin of 12 points on average in our
Pisco,
elections against them.
It's called not resting on your laurels and trying to get more, because we need more. Because it's not enough to just win the House by like a little margin or have another fucking mansion
Wait, yeah,
situation.
and Hutch, to be clear, Pisco, I think you would agree with this. If we knew for a fact that we were going to blow out in the midterms and we were going to win, and like,
Oh,
there's
yeah, this is-
like,
yep.
of course we wouldn't want to do this. Like, of course.
Oh,
This is-
yeah.
yeah.
If my intuition, if I thought that the Democrats would be hurt by and large by standing on principle and doing the right thing, I think in this context, then yeah, of course I wouldn't be in favor of it. It's informed by the intuition. Now here's the question, Hutch. If you knew, this is where you're gonna get the question. I think it's fair. We answered the hypothetical crystal ball, same crystal ball that you gave us. We apply it to you, and now you know for a certainty. All the consequences of the shutdown that you've expressed are there. Republicans are also just as unwilling to negotiate. However, in this situation, the comparison is doing the shutdown and standing on your principle then will yield 6 more U.S. Senate seats and 20 more House of Representative seats. Would you take that? Would you take that?
That's a tangible guarantee, and I would think about it at least. I would at least consider it. But you guys are not articulating.
Wait, no. Would you say yes?
I would think about it. Genuinely, I don't have an answer off the top of my head. I would have to think about that. That's tough.
You would
That
say
is
yes.
tough.
Because
That is
it's
tough.
the soul of the country. And if someone said to you, okay,
You guys
but
are
here's the
not
thing,
articulating a
Hutch,
benefit
I know you're saying that you'd have to think about it. Hutch, if you think about it and if you come to a determination that yes, you would, if someone came up to you and said, "Oh, you're not throwing yourself on the line, Hutch," you'd be like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess that's true, but it's
Here's my
tangential to what I
caveat.
think is in the benefit of the country."
Here's my caveat. If that were the case, if you could guarantee 6 seats, if you had a crystal ball, I would not support it unless the Democratic Party led a national like mutual aid network. You know what I mean? Like unless the Democratic Party took a very active and direct role in providing relief for people to make sure that people don't lose their homes, people can feed their kids. That's a tall order. I mean, I don't even, it would have to be we would have to attract like major donors and like it would be a Herculean effort, but I would not, I would have to think really long and hard about like a year-long shutdown and all the pain that would cause, because that would not be fun. And I don't know what polling you guys are looking at, but there's no fucking way that the public would ever get behind a year-long shutdown under any circumstances.
No,
We're
but
not
who they're
saying
going to
not
blame
ever
is the
have
question.
The year-long shutdown. We'd say that the year-long shutdown would help Dems more than it would help Republicans, meaning that Dems would have a better chance in the midterms.
No, there are a lot of Americans that will and do support shorter-term shutdowns for some kind of political fight to raise the salience of an issue. You are not going to find they are going to get so fed up with that shutdown so fast.
They're going to get so mad at Trump, just like the Iranians right now are mad at the fucking, among other reasons. But one of the reasons, among other reasons,
You interrupted me.
but
You interrupted
oh yeah, sure.
me,
Go. Sure,
I think
sure.
I think it's so obvious that they would get so tired of it and just be equally mad at both parties past a certain point. There are diminishing returns for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the smoke that you guys have for Democrats for not being able to magically force a death cult of a political party to concede.
Wait,
when
that's
they
not
have
what
more
we said.
power.
Wait, we bit the bullet, or at least I did, and I
Yeah,
said
we
I would
said
be.
if they 100% chance can't get them to concede, this might
We
still
would
be
still do
better
it.
in the long run.
Short term, yes. I would support a short term shutdown, yes, for political gain, but you're sacrificing that beyond a certain point.
I got to read this super because it's to your point, Hutch, and they gave me $100. So thank you very much, Spook. They said the
Oh,
main
shit.
thing is that Democrats suck at messaging, and given the administration has a stranglehold on it, combining it with the fatigue, i.e., what you were just saying, like a very long, drawn-out shutdown where it's like really hurting people, would have been a tipping point. They think that they should have held out for the shutdown, but I
That's
do get what you're
fine.
saying, Hutch. It's perceivable to me that this could be worse in the long run. This is not a hill I will die on. I'm saying that ultimately what Pisco and I think IRI agree, is this would hurt the Republicans more. And if this was like the difference between a slight win in the midterms, which were projected maybe a bigger win, versus like, oh, we're guaranteed to win, I think it's okay to sacrifice that during the shutdown.
Here's the big question, right? And I think ultimately we can go back to 2024 for this. My intuition is that 2024 was lost / an uphill climb because of the actual sort of feelings and conditions regarding the state of the country and prices and inflation. There are some people who say Biden and Kamala lost because of messaging. I am much more inclined to think that 2024 and a lot of these economic conditions, that people's blame for them are correlative, and they blame whoever's in charge. And if you take that view, and you think it has less to do with the stranglehold on alternative media or whatever, then I think you'd be inclined to say that any bad thing that persists while Trump is in office is going to be blamed on Trump, by all else equal.
That doesn't feel analogous, because it's not like with the economy, you can make a decision to end a shutdown and, bring inflation down. But you can, as a Democratic Party in Congress, give the votes to pass a budget to end a shutdown.
So can and Trump
you
can
have
agree.
You can have a much more direct impact. And I just think it's so crazy that, like, even when I gave you the hypothetical of like, they're not going to give you any concessions. That to me is just purely performative. You're just chasing like catharsis, and you're not really.
No,
So we're gonna pause. Wait, I just want to pause real quick. So all right, it's not bad faith because it is my real opinion. You can say you disagree with it. Doesn't mean that it's bad faith.
I didn't say you're bad faith.
It's not performative. I actually do agree with this. And
if
saying something like
more performative, he would have won his debate.
And like
you're
saying that,
and you want like an avatar to like channel that anger and do something with that anger. But this
is infantilizing. You're basically saying that my strat is some kind of like emotional release, and that it makes me feel good to just be angry or something. But like, I just don't have that intuition. My intuition is that strategically, it doesn't make sense for us to signal as negotiators, if you push us like hard enough, then we won't have any line. And what you're suggesting, I think, is even more ridiculous and even more emotional, which is you, with 1 year of shutdown, will give up basically anything. I mean, why would this not apply to any program you care about if that were on the table? If the only budget they passed, it was clean CR plus, eliminating something that you really cared about. If someone came up to you and say, "Oh, you want people to starve or whatever," you would not accept it. Everyone needs to have a line in negotiations, and to claim that my line is performative, but whatever bullshit line you're going to come up with, because I will push you, and we've already done it. Frankly, I said if funding the government was contingent on ending Medicare altogether, you would be against it, right? And that's a line that you would that's a line that you would draw. But that line's not performative because it's Hutch's line. But my line is performative because it's Pisco's line. It doesn't make any sense.
But this shutdown doesn't get us anything. Like, I'm trying to get people to understand that your anger and your frustration should be directed at the Republican Party, who are currently a death cult subservient to a senile pedophile who is instructing them for the barrel of a political gun to not give any concessions whatsoever, and they're obliging him. They are the problem. If you can't force them to make concessions, your anger should be reserved to them. Right. And the proposition of a year-long
A to B with logic is not, oh, we're doing this just to be like, well, if they're not going to back down, we won't. The logic is we would project that Republicans would perform significantly worse when the midterms roll around if
No,
we still
that's
continue.
crazy.
And
That's
if you
crazy.
don't agree with that can be where you
No.
contend, but we're not doing it just
No.
to be performative. It's the idea is we would win more votes because more people would blame them for the shutdown.
But why do you say they would not give in on anything? Where is that coming from?
Crystal ball. So this is the crystal ball hypothetical
No,
where
no.
they won't.
We had the longest shutdown in our government's history, and they did not indicate even a tiny inch that they were willing to concede anything. Okay. We already know
Right.
that that's what they did. Okay. Maybe the politics are different this time around. Like maybe because we had, just like you said, we had like 17 Republicans in the House that voted for these tax credits. And if that's the case, then it does change the calculation. Like if I actually thought that there was wiggle room, if you could give me some quotes from Republican senators that are like indicating that their political calculation has shifted, maybe that changes the whole discussion.
What about the votes in the House?
What about them? I just mentioned
Right,
this.
right. Yeah. So now, given the fact that Republicans have signaled the willingness to do that thing, why would it not make sense? Well, I'll tell you why. Is because Democrats have already signaled their weakness. That one of the problems with negotiating, where you define when it is that your bottom line is, and where it'll be too much pain is, now knowing that line, Republicans are just going to eat your heart out in every negotiation. So we fucked ourselves because we have useless negotiators
Has a
and
government
slash defectors.
Has a government shutdown ever led to concessions?
Yes.
I don't know if that's true. Has it ever? When has there ever been concessions?
There, I mean, yes. In the Ted Cruz shutdown, they put in some reporting requirements for the new exchanges, that they were doing under the Affordable Care Act.
ACA thing?
I mean, yeah, they put in some reporting requirements there. You know, you can contest how significant they were, but we're not talking about major policy concessions as the only reason we would do the shutdown. Soypel has now just said this 3 times. I'm just hoping that you hear him, that we've laid out why we think that it would make sense that Republicans would be politically blamed more for the situation than Democrats. And so you can't just say it's performative unless you are like, it's so ridiculous to think Republicans would be blamed more. So you have to actually take the argument as it is.
It's performative when you say that you would support a shutdown even if you knew it wouldn't amount to any concessions for a year. What is the point of that shutdown?
So this is the 5th time now I'm saying it, and Soypel said it multiple times. So there's a thing called
but you live
winning elections.
In a fantasy world where you think the public would like, you think this would net us like 10 or 20 seats in the House or like 5 seats in the Senate, when in reality it would just piss off the entire electorate and they would become
against two.
No, against both parties is what would happen.
Okay, if everyone's disillusioned, Democrats will. If everyone's disillusioned, Democrats will clean house. Because Democrats voters will go up to the polls and the disillusioned voters won't.
Cleaning house, though. That's the thing. Like you guys are, why fuck up a good thing?
We said if we knew for a fact, like we're gonna stop them, the midterms are a fucking lock, then we wouldn't even bother.
Yes,
that's
correct.
What Pisco and I conceded.
I'm not resting on the laurels. I think the whole Constitution is up for grabs.
Sure thing. And yeah, and that fascism is on the rise. And like the idea that like you're willing to say. And like we'll even say like, yeah, in a trolley problem dichotomy, I would 100% put my weight behind a segregationist Dem to beat fascism. Yeah, if that's the only other option.
Yes.
In the same way, like if this was the like one of the best ways, only ways to win the midterms, we would do this. But this is not the best option, and the downstream consequences, like you said, could absolutely fuck us. And the same way, electing a pro-segregationist Dem as like the governor or like a senator could absolutely fuck the people of that state.
I mean,
just because my interracial marriage might get fucked doesn't mean I don't think that would be better than stopping fascism.
This is the disconnect here is you guys seem to think that it would benefit Democrats. I think you're delusional. I think.
Wait, why? In virtue of what?
I'm not going to repeat myself. I'm just going to say that I think you guys are fucking delusional. If you think that would be a political benefit,
that worse conditions in a prolonged shutdown would hurt the party in charge, that's delusional. Hutch's take is it's delusional to think that.
Yeah,
Who thinks it's delusional?
If you think that the broad public would tolerate all of the disruption and consequences of a year-long shutdown,
I'm not saying we tolerate it. We'd say they blame Trump.
As the shutdown went along, both parties. At some point, they would be like, "We don't give a fuck about this anymore. Democrats, you need to just vote to open this." That is what would happen. And you guys are fucking delusional.
Look at
if you
this,
think that anything other than that would happen.
Based on the data from the last shutdown, if you look
Hi-
at who blames Republicans, it goes up the longer the shutdown went on. Okay, so if you have data to show that there's an inflection point where suddenly they're like, "Fuck the Dems, this is awful,"
the Dems.
I would like to see it, but I have
Yes.
not seen this data.
That's
If
why
this
I
data
said
exists, I'll be like,
based.
"Oh shit,
Why?
maybe this is something we need
you
to not
guys
let
are
go
doing
down."
Why would the
anymore."
Democrats get blamed? Like Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. People
Well,
do
come on,
not understand
because
that
they
you
can
need
vote to
votes in
pass
the
the budget.
Senate.
Because they can vote to
So
pass
can
the
the
don't have
Republicans.
any
That's
idea.
true of both.
I
That's true of both.
I get it. I
Hutch,
understand that. But
go up-
but the public will at some point the public
No,
will be
they
like,
won't.
I don't care if you're not getting the concessions. We
No.
can't. No,
Based on
you
what?
guys are.
I disagree. Go up to 10 random Americans and say, how many votes do you need to pass a bill in the Senate?
They don't
have
know
no
shit.
idea. They don't even know how many
That's
senators.
not the point. They're
There's
gonna
7,800
experience the
senators.
consequences,
Right,
and they're
and
gonna
And
be
blame
like,
Trump.
Who let
And
them
blame Trump.
They're Republicans. They control everything. It's such an easy layup for the Democrats. Republicans control everything. I
You
don't
got.
know what's
yeah,
going
I
on
think
here.
you guys are fucking delusional.
Wait, we should bring
Based on
Josiah
what?
on. Wait,
Based
where's
on
Josiah?
what?
Josiah, he's in the chat. Wait, we should bring Josiah on
Second.
if he's around.
Second of all, there's no world in which a year-long shutdown happens. We had the holidays coming up. Business travel would have slowed down. The economy would have been shaky, and Trump would have bent the knee. Would have been the game over.
And there won't
That's
be.
what
And
Trump did last
Hutch,
year.
let me alleviate your fears. There won't be a years long shutdown for the reasons Ira just stated, and also because Democrats are too weak to let it happen. They've already shown their hands. They've already shown their hands.
The fact that you think that is strength.
That's
that
true.
That is political
No, it-
strength.
It
is,
of
I
course
think,
is.
like,
It of
the
course is.
biggest
They
disconnect between you and I.
no, they've signaled their weakness on a go. Not all of them, but a dispositive amount of Democrats have signaled that they're going to bend if you just make the pain last a little long, and then that's all they have to do is wait out the Democrats. So it's not going to happen because of the reasons I
a
already
little bit of
stated.
pain. You
and
just said
because
a
of the
little
Dems.
bit of pain. You said a little bit of pain. Snap was not funded before that shutdown ended.
So so when I say
little
little
bit of
bit, relative little amount of pain compared to the
To a
consequences of the
fascist
country.
takeover.
That to
Yes.
me is fucking crazy to say that the complete halt of SNAP benefits for potentially like several months. That's not a
You
little
can
bit of
soy
pain.
out about my terminology, little bit of pain there.
I do
You
soy
can soy
out.
out and be
I
like,
do
"Oh my
soy
God,
out
you're
over
so
the
out of
love.
touch."
I do-
Ivory Tower, Ivory Tower. Just keep
It's
doing
true,
it. It
I'm
doesn't.
soy.
It's
true. It's true.
keep saying Ivory Tower. You're in an Ivory Tower. You're an Ivory. I mean, keep saying it, and it doesn't help your point. It doesn't advance anything about what's in the best interest of the country.
That's fine, but just acknowledge and own the fact that you are volunteering other people for a hunger strike in that spot.
We did.
Wait. So we obviously have acknowledged every bullet that you gave, and we gave our explanation about why the Democrats wouldn't be blamed for it, and why in the
Your
long-term interest.
explanation, I think you're delusional.
Okay,
I think you are
would you?
delusional.
So Hutch, would you
Counter.
would you sacrifice 1 million lives of Americans to preserve democracy in the United States and prevent fascism? Yes or no?
In a war, sure.
Okay, so
Yeah.
wait a second. So you're gonna sacrifice other people's lives for like your democracy, bro?
But you don't process. Here's the big disconnect. You guys can't process the possibility that the Republicans are not going to bend. That Donald Trump is a
No.
fragile, egomaniacal narcissist who would never, ever allow the Republicans in Congress to make concessions to Democrats.
But we agreed.
But
in
You're
the hypothetical.
you're putting it on Democrats. You're like, oh, they were weak for not getting concessions, and you're putting your smoke in the wrong place. The smoke should be for Republicans who have no backbone, who are a death
keep
cult right now. That is the problem.
I think that they would back down. A lot of their people are going to die too if that's the situation, and Congress is going to scream about it. Like
Okay,
I
but
just
there was
said, but
no,
Trump-
but there was no indication of that whatsoever.
Well,
None,
Jessica Brady was
literally,
absolutely-
literally
and I'll
not
tell
a
you what it
single,
was.
literally not a single Republican in the Senate
Yes,
that
there
I'm
was.
aware of indicated
Oh, this is a great
that
super
they
chat.
that they were willing to concede anything.
Well,
Wait,
but
quick breather, because we're heated, and Josiah, if you wanted to get in so bad,
Get in,
motherfucker. Anyway, Pondering
in.
Politics, $10 says, tell Hutch, Crystal Ball today gave a sincere and lengthy concession to resistance loops on Trump,
We love it.
reiterating that they were always right about everything and apologizing
W Crystal
for
Ball.
being late to the game. So I guess you and me too.
that
Obviously,
sounds out of context. There's no way she said that.
Wait, really? Wait,
it's
Well,
so ridiculous.
listen,
I'm
Well,
always
She
right
said
about
it.
everything. Why would she say that? That
Listen,
doesn't make any sense.
we'll
we
here's
should
what I'm
watch the
curious.
clip. We should watch the clip.
I want to know what her rhetoric is going to be when we get to 2028 and fucking candidate Gavin Newsom.
We're gonna
is
keep
up
her
there,
on.
you know.
We're gonna keep her honest. You don't think we're gonna pressure? We'll
I didn't say-
pressure.
No, I didn't say
We'll
that.
pressure.
I'm just saying that's great. I mean, I welcome the rhetoric. I'm just saying, like, I've heard that
I'll
rhetoric
never
before.
join.
And,
You guys had her on, right? Before me and Guy.
Yeah.
yeah, she came.
Oh,
How
we
did
should
that- how
have
did
her
that
on
go?
again. Grill her.
Mm.
We should. Wait. Did Crystal debate us on something? I forget what it was.
We had a little bit of an exchange about something, but it wasn't like
Joe
heated or
Manchin?
anything. I don't even think we talked about that when she was on.
That's an all-time Hutchman moment, by the way. The Manchin debate with Crystal and Kyle. Did you have
No,
support
with
there?
Vanguard. With Vanguard. That was a
No.
better debate. Oh, that one
Didn't
with
you
Pondering?
debate-
That one was chill. We were chill then. That wasn't
Oh.
crazy.
Okay. Yeah, we should think about bringing the Vanguard back on. Wait, can I just ask, in terms of the left alt media sphere, the lefty type Hutches, who's on the list right now in terms of like these people are so deranged that even like encounters with them need to be like purely focused on bringing them down. Like who is Crystal and Kyle still on that list?
So you're weaseling your way back into Hutch's good graces by saying, "How much do you hate the left?"
I'm trying. This is called.
It would be
called,
a shorter list of people who I think are reasonable. I'll put it that way.
Ooh.
There's
Where
just
the
a lot
lefties were reasonable.
There's just a lot of flowchart shit going on, and honestly, this feels like flowchart shit to me. That's why I'm
What does?
I'm
The-
sensitive.
IRI is not a
sensitive to it.
flowchart guy. IRI is the DNC incarnate. Soy pill is not the soy pill is not a flowchart guy. I'm the closest to a flowchart guy, but I'm not a flowchart guy.
The shutdown stuff feels like flowchart shit to me because again, it's like you're deflecting the blame where it should be.
It's
Like
the opposite.
The problem
we're blaming
is-
Republicans.
The problem is we have a Republican Party that is held hostage right now
Yes.
for a madman, and they're not displaying any backbone whatsoever. And maybe this year changes. I think IRI is correct to point out that the politics are different this time around because people are actually paying those higher healthcare premiums now. So they're actually like looking at these bills and paying these bills. They're feeling that pain in a more direct way. You have had Republicans that have indicated a little bit of wiggle room, but at the time that the shutdown ended, there was no indication from a single Republican in Congress, as far as I'm aware. Maybe one in the House, but the rest of them were like completely in lockstep. No, we are not going to negotiate tax credits. That's what their position was.
That our position is the opposite of the flowchart because we're saying that we have confidence that the electorate is going to blame Republicans, and we think that will come about. And so I don't understand how we're endorsing flowchart mentality by proposing that
because
the American people. Okay,
because you're not even considering the possibility that the Republicans at that time would not move.
No.
we are considering that.
Oh, Hutch,
that's
we
part.
were in
That's
your
it.
hypothetical where we agreed they would never concede.
We
a
assumed
single
they
thing,
would.
right?
We assumed they would.
Yeah.
Then I find it even less understandable.
Okay. So here,
Like in the absence of
last
concessions.
attempt, and then we'll move on. Right? Based on the data that I've seen, and I guess Pisco has seen, and Guy, maybe you could back us up here. It seemed that the disapproval for the Republican Party and who was being blamed for the shutdown increased as it went on. Now, obviously, this comes with people being hurt. So now you can't extrapolate that ad infinitum, but our indication would be that the longer it went on, the more unpopular the administration would get, and therefore we would perform better, even better than projections in the midterms. That's it. That is the data we've seen. Now, if you have contrary data,
No, that's
if
not.
you think
the
that's
data
not
you
true,
say. But you are extrapolating when you say that. because
Yes, we are extrapolating.
No, you are assuming that the trend holds or it continues to trend.
Yes, we are. Yes,
we are assuming
That
this.
is
we are
not-
assuming that.
You
But that's the
have
only
no
thing we're
rational
disagreeing on
basis
here.
to assume that continuity of that trend.
Yeah, but why would you assume that it doesn't go that way? That's what I'm saying.
I'm not assuming one thing or another. I'm saying that
Oh.
there's significant risk. That's what I'm saying. It's unpredictability. It's like it's like an unknown.
But
So
that cuts
why-
both ways. Wait,
why
that
would
cuts
you
both
even-
ways.
Stop. Why would you even risk it at that point? If you have all this significant political benefit in that moment, why even take that risk? If
So-
we're like plus 20 in terms of who they blame, why take that risk when they're not giving you any wiggle room, not giving you any indication that they're going to make any concessions?
I think the risk cuts both ways. I don't think that you're pricing an opportunity cost and the real cost of unrealized gains that are available to you. And so you can say risk, but there's risks both sides. There's risk in terms of what you could lose, but also risks in terms of what you can gain. I think it relates to like loss aversion that a lot of people have. But for you, Hutch, like you are very sensitive to loss of any kind. And I think that sometimes it's good. I think sometimes loss aversion makes sense. But I just think that you have an irrationally high loss aversion.
Here's where I think
And-
it's not irrational. When we look at the electorate right now, what do we see? We see broadly, we see people that are extremely dissatisfied with both parties. We see a lot of people that feel completely put off by politics and do want more bipartisan efforts, despite whatever the Democratic voter base says. That's what like broadly, like normies. This is probably 60-70% of the country that are just generally just like, I'm so sick of the bickering. Da, da, da. And you can't imagine that same electorate after a several months prolonged shutdown turning on both parties and just feeling like, oh, this is fucking ridiculous.
Well, if they turn on, if they turn,
what?
Based on what?
We can imagine
it, but based on what? I have no indication this would happen. I can imagine.
I just laid it out for you, though. I mean, I told you they're extremely dissatisfied with both parties, and they're sick of the bickering, and they do want the parties.
Why do we think it's likely? Why do we think that
they want the party? They want politics to stop being so dysfunctional. Is what they're saying. That's what they're telling people over and over and over.
Our indication is based on an extrapolation which might be fallacious, that they would continue to blame the party that would then lose in the midterms. You're giving a plausible hypothetical. Pisco and I have agreed to this, but based on what do you think this is more plausible than the trend reversing or the trend continuing?
What's the epistemic case for one versus the other?
I don't have a data fueled answer for you guys. I'm just looking at what voters are saying and what they're articulating is what they think the problem is like right now with politics. And right now there's a lot of people that are like sick of the dysfunction. And your strategy just creates like literal chaos.
Based on that, do you think more bipartisan bills will get better support for the Democrats, considering that the Republicans won't even vote for their own bipartisan bills? Like I don't see this clamoring for unity, which does exist.
I mean, we do have data on in terms of like we've had several pollsters ask people the question: do you want the parties to work together more?
Right. No, I'm agreeing with this.
Overwhelmingly, voters are saying yes.
Yeah, but Republicans. But in your hypothetical, the Republicans are literally refusing to budge on anything.
I never said that the Republicans are like, I didn't say that they're good faith negotiators.
I understand that. I'm saying as part of like, I feel, Hutch, one of your parameters of the hypothetical, it's that the Republicans are intransigent, like they're not moving at all. And so, yes, I probably agree that if you ask voters, do you want to see more, functional bipartisan stuff in Congress? They'll say yes because it just sounds good or whatever. But even to the extent that that's a genuinely held view, like, yeah, I'll assume that it's a genuinely held view. Why would that inure to the Democrats' detriment, given the Republicans in this stance are refusing categorically to negotiate, and the Democrats are the ones saying, we want to negotiate and we want to have a fair deal? I just don't have an intuition that from the public's perspective, they're going to view the Democrats as the ones preventing bipartisanship and who are not in concert with their like sort of ideological goal.
Because a lot of people in the public were insulated from the more direct consequences of that shutdown that we had the last time. That was like a 5-week shutdown or a 5.5-week shutdown. If it had continued, then, we're talking about several months of of federal workers not receiving paychecks. Maybe they start, disrupting things locally or whatever. And, people not receiving SNAP benefits and all the other numerous ways that chaos begins to manifest in a way that the voters themselves will more directly feel the consequences of. We were rapidly approaching that moment, especially with the holidays coming up. That's a huge time for travel and commerce and that the potential for disruption and chaos and these kinds of.
And that would have affected me, Hutch. I'm just saying that would have affected me, and so I was willing to put.
It would affect all of us.
So I was willing to put it all on the line for my holiday plans and all that stuff. So. Just to be clear, I know not as much of the SNAP people, but listen, I think that we just fundamentally, this is where I think it is, and you tell me if you disagree so we can move on. I think that I have less loss aversion than you, and I think that Democrats, one of the flaws in our thinking has been basically not taking strategically calculated risks, like in this situation where I think that there's enough of trends that where the prolonging of a shutdown tends to negatively affect the party who's perceived as responsible for it, that I think that that's a calculated risk that I'm comfortable with, especially given the ideological and principled reasons not to fund this government and to stand tall in a negotiation position. That is a calculated risk, and you're risk averse, and so you don't want to do it. And I understand that. That's a difference in terms of our preferences, and I think it's a genuine one. I think it's really genuine. I'm not trying to like shit talk you or talk down to you. I do think that that's what the disagreement is.
So the idea that I'm risk averse is pretty hilarious if you knew like my personal history. I'm not, so like I do think about risks a lot, but like, for example, like replacing Biden with Kamala, I considered that to be a risk. And I was like fully on board by the time that happened. Like if it makes sense, if like, I feel like there's a gettable win. It's just, I think where we really disagree is that the Republicans at the time of that shutdown ending, when it did, they were a unified front, and they were giving zero indication. If there had been just something there, you know, like Susan Collins says, well, I don't know, I'm really starting to think about the thing. You know, you start seeing like enough Republicans make a non-committal kind of statement or something indicating an openness, then that totally changes the calculation. I'd be on board with what you guys were saying. But I'm saying that there's this thing in politics called the Green Lantern theory of politics. And I can explain it to you if you want.
Yes, please.
I think you're kind of like divining this reality where that Democrats just could have been able to force a particular outcome.
We're literally not, Hutch. Hutch, you can't say that because we are granting that even in the situation in which they can't.
To be clear, he was saying that he
was saying the factual case. I think that what IRI was saying is factually, he doesn't see the evidence that they would be unwilling to.
Besides the fact that none of them said that they were willing to. Besides that,
no. Given the recent votes, given the fact that they at least signaled they're going to have a vote, and
talking about back then, he's a guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying that they would have conceded beyond a certain point. Yeah,
I think a couple more weeks they would have started crumbling because the economy would have been impacted, and Trump can't handle that because the holidays were coming up and travel and all that.
I can't tell you with 100% certainty that you're wrong, but what I can tell you is that there was no indication of that happening.
Well, there's only one way to find out. The second one, we got to go.
We got to go as long as possible.
We're breaking our record, guys. Josiah is so kind to have asked us to have a topic change, and even he said, because I saw you were watching this, Hutch. Did you guys see Nick Shirley get interviewed by Andrew Callahan, the Minnesotan expose guy? You know, before I was like, okay, this guy's a dumb Republican journalist. Now I genuinely do think he might be illiterate. He like didn't know like what the word benevolent meant, and like it was very embarrassing. He was trying to like walk this guy into like the logical conclusions of his points, and he is really, really dumb. But Hutch, you were watching it. What did you think?
That kid is an actual idiot. Like actually, like when you hear him talk, he is legitimately not working with like a full box of crayons. But my takeaway from that interview, honestly, was that Andrew put on what I think was a fucking shameful performance.
Why?
It was so bad. Like this kid was throwing out all kinds of wild claims, and he got very minimal pushback from Andrew. And I understand Andrew's kind of doing a sort of like just asking questions kind of thing, and I think in some settings that's okay. Or understandable, but in this setting, he was just giving this kid free reign to make all kinds of claims that were just categorically false. I mean, it was like conservative brain rot, conspiracy theory shit. Like, you know, Biden lost 800,000 kids, or you remember that claim? That kind of stuff.
Do you watch his like his like stuff with not politics, but just like the crazy, like the flat Earth people, or like the insane, like
that stuff's really good. I mean, I think like that whole just asking question things, I think like works in that context. Maybe I can't articulate why, but
no, you're exactly right. Is that he employed the same tactics here, and the tactic is like, if I just talk to this person and let them be themselves, they will give me crazy, insane takes and insane content. And he, like, this was actually more pushback I've ever seen him do, which was, like you said, very tepid. But like, he's just not a very controversial, adversarial person. He will just like be like, all right, keep telling me more about this crazy stuff. And the way that he tries to get around that is he'll cut in clips that contradict what they're saying. Like he won't say it in the thing, but it'll be like, oh, you know, you just said something insane, and then here's the news clip that shows that you're wrong, or something like that, right? So I don't know if that's unfair to him, or like, I don't know. Do you think that's like not a fair way of doing it?
I think you're right that he's conflict aversive. Like I think he strikes me as like a nice guy. Like I feel like he's probably really nice in real life, and I feel like
allegations.
There are allegations.
There were allegations. I mean, to a certain extent,
but he means interpersonally. He means interpersonally, right, Hutch?
So yeah, make sure Hutch doesn't get clipped.
Yeah, no, my vibe was that he was like he was steering the conversation away from conflict, and the kid was steering it toward, like the kid was questioning his character a number of times.
He was like, you didn't say anything about Charlie Kirk in your video. And he's like, what do you mean? Yes, I did. And he's like, oh, I didn't watch the video.
Yeah. Like, unbelievably dumb thing. And he would like address it really quickly, and then he would shift the conversation. But like, for example, there was one moment in their conversation, I feel like I'm talking a lot, so I'll shut up after this. But there was one moment in this conversation where Andrew was doing this thing where he was just like, I'm paraphrasing a lot here, but he was like, you and me, we're like the new independent media. And the problem with legacy media is that they're so partisan and they're trying to, push a particular agenda. And the kid like went, yeah, no, I agree. And then 10 minutes later, this kid is grilling Andrew about why Donald Trump is like saving the country and, like saving America, and just acting like more hyper partisan than you'll even see Fox News hosts. And it was just absurd to me. It was just fucking absurd. That would have been the perfect time to be like, hang on, I thought you said that, like it's good to be nonpartisan, but here you are, basically just as a mouthpiece for the administration. But
two things I want to say. First off, chat, if you guys are in my chat talking shit about Hutch, you're allowed to criticize, but just please remember he's a valued member of our entire fucking shit. And I love Hutch. And so just calibrate your criticism such that they're like trying to target actual takes he's taken. All right. But number two, what you're saying about Callahan kind of strikes true a little bit. People are going to roll their eyes, but I felt that he was a bit just like receptive to Hunter Biden and was like not really taking a hard hitting interview type of stance. That might be his style, but it's something that I don't really like that much. I think that if you're in the business of conducting interviews with like politically controversial people, I don't like the let's just chill kind of Joe Rogan style-y, like just be nice kind of thing. I would prefer if there were more challenging questions, more conflict. That's just my personal take. And I know that there are plenty of people who are fine with the other style, but especially when a lot of these conservatives like shy away from challenging stuff. Now Shirley did something with CNN, which was also embarrassing, I think, right? Soypill? I seem to recall him like not knowing basics about daycares or some shit from in the CNN interview. But in general, I think that I just don't like that content. And I think it's kind of chicken shit not to challenge these political figures a little bit more.
Yeah, like I can understand where it's coming from, but it's a double-edged sword, right? Because if you come off and they think that you're attacking them, either they're bad faith and they shut down and they just do try to do gotchas. But if you're good enough, like just, hey, just talk, we're just having a conversation, then yeah, like you said, Hutch, now it's just, okay, I'm just letting you spout off all your crazy propaganda. And Andrew's solution to this is like, well, I'm framing him as stupid, therefore no one will buy into it, which sometimes works, but it's not always enough. So it's, I don't know. Guy, you've been quiet. What do you think? What
I haven't
would
seen
you
it,
do?
so I don't know. I haven't seen the video. I'm gonna maybe watch it after this. But I mean, Nick Shirley's he's being exposed as a fraud and hollow, and that's why I just am so disappointed Tim Walz bowed out because all of this was getting picked apart. But I don't know. I haven't checked it out yet. So I mean, Andrew Callahan, I don't think there's any pressure on him to be like the voice of the left or to do anything special. So I don't really have much criticism for him.
Fair enough. But
I
Josiah,
don't know. Am
once
I
again,
wrong? Is it?
No, I agree. Like we have people that will ask and push back questions, and Andrew doesn't need to do that. And his shtick is just being like I'm showing you what it's like to be the guy here at this rally or here.
Yeah, but like remember when the Nelk boys did the
Here-
Netanyahu interview and everyone was like talking shit, like you guys just kind of let him stand by. Like I know that fucking Nick Shirley is not Netanyahu and is not like a politician or whatever, but he's in the news in a major way. He arguably led to the
he did.
resigning of from the race of Tim Walz.
Yeah.
And
the Health and
so
Human Services literally retweeted him, immediately shut down payments to some of these programs. So it's like he did that.
He's
100%.
directly influencing policy at the federal level. So, I mean, you can't do the whole just asking questions in that spot, and you don't need to be partisan. Like you don't need to be like, you don't need to be like mean. If somebody says something that's just objectively not true, like I do think you should jump in and say, that's kind of crazy. Like this kid at one point, you guys said, he looked at Andrew and he was like, what are Somalians known for? And Andrew was like, and he kind of tripped up a little bit. And then he said like the movie, Captain Phillips or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, piracy. And then Andrew was like, but that's not what's happening in Minnesota. He's like, well, fraud is a form of piracy. It was like, I'm saying the stupidity was really like remarkable. And Andrew would just kind of just like let that fly. And it just, I don't know. To me, it was
but
pretty shameful.
I don't think Andrew like knows politics or anything. I mean, I just don't think. I think he's just as dumb as Nick, right? I mean, he's a nice
No,
guy and he
not as
produces
Nick.
good content, but I don't think Andrew's like some sort of insane journalist or something.
He's not super like clued in, but he knows, like, if you watch his Pete Buttigieg interview, like he knows enough to ask semi good questions. Like Nick is like here's the dichotomy
Well, I'm
here.
not comparing him to Nick, but I'm just saying I don't think Andrew knows anything either.
Well, what I'm saying is
He's
Nick
just
is
a
like
bro
on another
doing
level where, like,
documentaries, and he's there for the vibes and the ride-alongs. And
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
if
show
like
you how
if
these
if,
crazy
if
shit,
like
you know?
if iShowSpeed did like an interview with Trump, what would you say? Like, oh well, iShowSpeed doesn't really do politics; he's just kind of there for the vibes and chilling with Trump.
Yeah.
Would you have any criticism for iShowSpeed like doing a little collab with Trump and like doing the Ronaldo?
I mean, Aiden Ross did.
Yeah, I was gonna
Aiden
say, you'd
Ross
have to
did.
imagine it.
Yeah.
Aiden
Yeah.
Ross,
Yeah, I'd say he's
XQC.
boosting him.
Yeah.
But
I'd
yeah,
say he's
no,
boosting him, but I wouldn't expect him to like have hard-hitting questions or even be able to push back on
But
it.
you would have a view, but like to Hutch's point, you would
is,
have a view. You would have a view on it.
Well,
You'd say it's bad.
but no, but to Hutch's point, do you guys think he actually knew that was wrong? Some of the things that Nick was saying.
Some of it, a lot of it,
I
yeah, I
think so,
do.
yeah.
I do
Well,
think he knew that it was
no,
wrong.
he
yeah.
definitely does, because if you watch it, guy, like it's contrasted with like kind of the question. He's trying to like, what's the lead a horse to water. It's like, well, don't you see how, like, if this was true, like, don't you think that like it's his kind of like, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong, I'm going to try to lead you into your own argument that you're wrong. But he didn't work because Nick is very dumb.
Yeah.
And just to like, I had someone, I don't know if you guys know Brian Shapiro, who's like, his whole thing is he's been debating
Yeah,
MAGA
yeah.
people, and he talked about Nick, and he was like he will like, oh, these MAGA idiots, these morons. With Nick, he was like, I think this guy's just really dumb. Like, he was like very like, oh, I feel bad for this guy. And
He
like,
is, yeah.
so like, this is like another level of like stupid. Like, it's not just like uninformed. This is like, you're slow.
Disclaimer: Ira and I didn't watch the fucking interview, so
Yeah.
just to be clear about
I'm not
this,
trying to
this
argue, I'm
is-
just trying to explain, like, this is like another level of stupidity.
Here's the issue. Like, the biggest issue with Andrew, as far as I can see, is he's kind of jank pilled a little bit in that he believes in this he believes in he believes in it's kind of lefty, but like he believes that you know, we really agree on a lot more than we think we do, and if we only pay attention to the billionaire, it's like a populism, it's like a brain rot kind of populism.
Yes.
And he believes that he can find a lot of common ground, and it's apparent in that conversation with Nick, and you can watch it if you have the time, you should. It's pretty interesting to watch, but it's apparent that he's trying to like lead Nick to water in terms of like, okay, I'm with you kind of in cutting fraud, but like, what about giving that money to people in the form of like social benefits or whatever? And it's just like Nick is just not on board with it at all.
That's a very normie position. Like, I'd say 70% of the population has that position of like, the establishment sucks and everybody's corrupt in government, and you know, we need term limits.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
like, I just feel like that's a very normie position. That's why when I say Andrew's dumb, I don't mean he's like an idiot. Obviously he's smart, but about politics, he's dumb.
I want to say to IRI's point about it being a normie position, there were 3 different locations where this position was expressed. I went to a black barbershop to touch up my beard, and like, they transitioned from one topic to another, and everyone was there like, they're all corrupt, they're all horrible. I went to hair and makeup. They had hair and makeup for word war debate, and the nice Asian lady who was doing hair and makeup, she also expressed this. And then countless people in the after party who I spoke to were like, everyone's corrupt, they're all fucking you know, insanely in on the take and whatever. Some of it ventured into anti-Semitism, but just to say that everything's corrupt and everything is fucked up and all these people are evil, that is a very normie position.
Yeah, that's why populism is so popular. Right now.
Josiah asked, did you guys watch the Hunter Sean Ryan interview from a few weeks ago?
I didn't even. It's 6 hours, bro. It's like it's
Yeah.
fucking the 2 towers
I'm
extended
not following
version.
everything Hunter is doing. Like, what is he trying to do?
Not
What
watching.
is he
He's
getting
gonna
at?
run? Hunter 2028. You guys wouldn't vote for the Hunter?
Wouldn't be
If
my
Hunter
first
Biden
choice.
becomes a fucking candidate in the presidential election, that might be the funniest thing of all time.
I'm with Hutch. 6 hours. I'm not clicking on it.
Fair enough.
Can't be bothered.
Yeah, we don't have the attention spans. We're too internet pilled. Last topic, guys, before we wrap up here. Jerome Powell. Did you see the statement he puts out on Sunday? This
Wild.
is like, I don't know if this is like, I'm getting desensitized, but this one felt more chilling than a lot of the crazy stuff happening in the country right now, because it's a head of an institution coming out and speaking directly against Trump, similar to like the Mark Kelly video where he's like, hey, just FYI, the president is using false pretenses to try to criminally indict me. Like, just straight up. I'm saying this to you, the camera. I'm still in charge, but just so you know, the president's coming after me. I'm supposed to be an independent like organization, and he's coming after me. Like, this is like before they would play this kind of like coy game. They'd go to things together, and he might contradict him in front of him. But this
It is
like
wild.
there are institution level fights happening, like, and it's not personal beef. This is the executive branch coming down on this guy, and he is calling them out for it, and it is scary. This is scary.
This is what it's like, Soypill. It would be like Chief Justice John Roberts going into the camera and saying, they're investigating my statements that I made to an interviewer for some sort of fraud because Trump wants the tariff decision to come down his way. That's like what it would be like. The head of the monetary authority, the central bank of the United States, who has who the Supreme Court has indicated will get protection from removal by the president under it's going to be a bullshit rationale to distinguish Humphrey's executor, but they have signaled that the head of our central bank is saying that Trump is using a pretext on some bullshit to attack him for monetary policy. It's an insane story.
They're gonna embarrass themselves again, though. Like, there was also reporting today, I don't know if you guys saw, but they fired the federal attorney who declined to press charges against Comey. And so they keep trying to do this thing. Like, it's obvious that Donald Trump feels like he should have the ability to point to someone and be like, that person should be in jail. Like, it's very obvious that he wants that power, but he is embarrassing the federal prosecutors who otherwise have like a sterling reputation. They get like 98% conviction rate, right, Pisco? It's like some insane.
Yeah,
number.
a lot of it's plea outs, but it's yes, very high rates.
And he's already failed a number of times, so like, he can try to drum up silly charges against Powell, but we'll see where that goes. I mean, I agree that it's chilling. The fact that
it's a crisis. We've been in a constitutional crisis since Trump took office, and this is just yet another layer of it.
Well, I think Powell's just not going to step down from his governor position. Obviously, he can't stay on as the chair, but he can stay on as a governor through 2020 or to the beginning of 2028, which would screw Trump over.
Why can't he stay on as chair?
Well, his term as chair expires in May of this year, but his term as a governor is through the beginning of 2028. And there's seven
that
governors.
Makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense, but it doesn't relate to the indictment, right? You're not saying that he should step down from chair.
He hasn't been indicted.
Well,
there's just a grand jury, and the Fed has been subpoenaed some information.
Sorry, the planned indictment or the threat of indictment, I should have said. My bad.
But that video was shocking. I mean, he looked into the camera and said, "This is all bullshit," which is I think it kind of tickles the conspiracy theory bug a little bit too, because it's like, well, wait a second, you're telling the American people that you're not guilty of shit. It's kind of like, let's see the investigation play out too. I could see some people taking that side. Like, what are you trying to hide?
He's flailing. He's tumbling. Like they're. I tweeted it out this morning, but they are fucked. They all know they're fucked. Every single conservative in media, they can see what's happening. Anybody who denies that it's happening, they can all see that the ship is going down right now. They're just fucked. And go ahead.
I thought the oil executives' reaction at Friday's meeting was insane. Like, in front of Trump, these guys didn't even try to hide it. They're like, it's uninvestable. There's nothing we can do. And like, his whole strategy in Venezuela depends on them investing in the oil industry. I just bring it up because I think Venezuela is going to unfold and devolve into chaos and then become a huge problem for him as well. So I agree with you.
There were reports of armed militia in the streets of Venezuela looking for Americans. They issued a warning.
Colectivos. Yeah.
Well, they still have American prisoners. There are still Americans being held by this regime.
But guys, this the oil exec who said, like, why would we ever invest in like something that the entire international policy could change based on a tweet? Like, this is a bad investment for us.
Yes.
And he like said this right in front of him. Yeah, that was
to say it in front of Trump is crazy. And now Trump says, well, we might cut ExxonMobil out of any investment. ExxonMobil is a giant company, dude. Like, you're lucky if anybody invests. And now you want to cut out one of the biggest players? Are you nuts?
Yeah. Well,
oh wait, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
There's one other story. It's an Elon story. Just real quick, it'll be fast.
There's a couple
is it him continuing to retweet Nazis and white supremacists?
Wait, what? No.
Okay, well that's not new. That's just the thing he's still doing. But
Did he
I've
do
been
that?
looking at it. Yeah,
He did.
No.
Yes.
He retweeted this guy that was like, "Oh, I'm the moderate position is like forced remigration, which is another thing." He like later clarifies, just to be clear, I also mean remigration of Jews. It's
Jews.
like,
No, but what Elon reposted was if whites become a minority, they will be slaughtered.
Yeah.
And the guy that he
Oh.
reposted that said that, and you go to his account and just search for the word Jews.
yeah,
He's a
Andy's
fucking
Rhodesia
literal
posting,
Nazi.
which is like the white supremacist thing of like, hey, remember segregation and how cool it was? Like, yeah, he's just a Nazi. But anyway, no, this is something else.
Yeah, so mine was like a little bit more light, I guess, which is he says he's gonna file for full custody of the child he had with
Oh.
Ashley St. Clair. Because
Yeah.
purportedly he understood Ashley St. Clair like apologizing for being transphobic as
I'm
a
going to
commitment
transition. Yeah.
that she's gonna trans their 1-year-old or something. So yeah, that was my little moment of zen.
What does custody mean under Elon Musk? It's not like he's gonna like
Yeah,
watch
he's like-
the child, right? It
he's
just
like
means
on
I'm gonna
ketamine 24/7.
My maid is gonna watch her, not
Yes.
the maid that I hired for you, right? Like he
Yeah.
doesn't fucking spend time with his kids. He's gaming and fucking around at Tesla office all day.
Also, didn't he dispute the paternity in the beginning? Wasn't that whole?
That's yeah. He
Oh,
doesn't
wait,
even, like this might not even be mine or whatever. Even though we saw the leaked Snapchat, I want to put another baby in you.
Yeah.
The text. So, like,
Yeah, bro.
I think he
Dude,
thinks it is.
dude, he was in charge of like an entire portfolio of defunding our government for like 3 or 4 months, and it looks like he's starting to get on better terms with Trump again. So predictable. By the way, after suggesting that he was
In the
like implicated negatively in the Epstein files, so
He basically
forgive and forget,
basically-
yeah,
He basically said Trump abused children.
yeah, that was the suggestion. And by the way, speaking of the Epstein files, reports are that we've seen like maybe 1% of what they're supposed to be showing us, or maybe
Yes.
even less than that. So yeah,
Well-
that's all going on while the massive international crises are escalating. We might go to war with Greenland. NATO might be destroyed in the coming months. So yeah, thank you to all the fucking Trump supporters and all of the lefties who didn't vote for Kamala. I'll throw Hutch a bone.
Hell yeah.
Wait, 1% is that counting or not counting?
didn't
the
say it.
redacted pages.
What's that?
Is that counting or not counting the redacted pages? Is it like we've
Counting.
including
Probably counting. Yeah, probably
Yeah.
counting them.
Oh wow, Jesus!
Yeah, they claim to found millions more.
I want to be fair. Because maybe I just haven't seen them. But have there been a lot of leftist protests against the actions in Venezuela? Because I feel like if Biden would have done that,
There was a
wait,
thing
there
that-
are.
I think
I'm
it was
just
the one
saying.
at Times Square, but they were like
What?
pro
No, there
Maduro
are,
protests.
Hutch. What-
Do you remember that?
okay, that's what I'm saying. That's why I
The
asked
left.
question.
Wait, no.
That's why I asked
I just want to
question.
say on this issue, the libs are often worse than the lefties. The lefties are. I hear the lefties being better on the issue of intervention in Venezuela than a lot of libs who are kind of
No,
like.
but I mean like a massive protest movement. How
Yeah,
come-
the libs
how
are
come-
like,
no.
look, intervention's fine, but it has to be through Congress.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
lefties are like,
I was
how
like,
dare
this
you?
is horrible. It's illegal and not just procedurally wrong, but will probably lead to chaos. And Trump is only doing it because he wants to take ownership and control. And yeah, it's
just
all corruption.
conquest. It's just literal imperialism.
Yeah,
Like,
so
straight
I
up,
wish
it's like
I wish on this issue the lefties influence more of the lib rhetoric on it. To be honest with you, I'm just being honest.
Well, speaking of the lefties, did you see the there was a protest outside of a synagogue where I guess there were land sales going on for, is it West Bank properties? Is that what that was?
What the fuck? That's fucked.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't
Because
know what was going on.
there was a
but I
sale
saw
for
that
West
it
Bank
was-
The
properties?
one that AOC and Mamdani.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
about?
talk about. So there were
Right,
there
right.
so
AOC canceled.
I think it was a synagogue, but there was a place where a bunch of Jewish people were gathered, and I think they were doing land sales of, I don't know what was happening in there. And some lefty protesters showed up and started chanting, "We support Hamas here." And Mamdani and AOC both came out with tweets condemning that kind of rhetoric. And
Sick.
Hassan subtweeted them like 3 hours later, basically questioning the legitimacy of criticizing Hamas as a resistance group. Which
Yeah.
Oh,
if there was like any,
that's dumb.
Yeah, I saw a lot of comments that were like, "Oh, they got the call." Oh, the Jewish people in charge called them. They're like, "This is unacceptable," and they bent the knee. And it's like, what did you think? Did you think Mamdani was gonna endorse terrorism? Like, what the fuck?
That's why I roll my eyes whenever people say like Hassan is equivalent to AOC is equivalent to Mamdani. Like these are different characters, and so when I talk to Connor counterpoints, and he's like, I just don't want you like pussyfooting with these tankies who go to China. He's like not just construing Hassan as coextensive with AOC and Mamdani, who are much different than Hassan, but just like normie Democrats. So can we just stop with this whole like Hassan and the people in like the even further left spaces are the same thing as the Democrats, or even the most left-wing politicians we have? The most left politicians we have are good, decent people. They're AOC, they're Mamdani, they're Bernie, and they're people I would proudly support. And so let's not pretend that like we're under threat of a communist takeover anytime soon.
Also, Mamdani, holy fucking shit. Like, I feel like we were all having conversations about like, I don't know, the whole like government subsidized childcare thing. Like that was by far the most ambitious proposal that he put forth during his campaign. And I think all of us were probably dubious that they were going to be able to pull it off. But that motherfucker does a press conference with Hochul, and she announces that she's on board, like using existing funds without raising taxes. So it looks like he's very likely to accomplish that policy, which is fucking huge. Like this guy is coming across as a bit of a savant, like a political savant, to be honest.
Hamas, so it's not what I wanted. I'm retracting.
Which, by the way, he had already done. Like,
yeah.
I think that some lefties are just immune to good optics. Hamas is bad, all right? We don't need to like keep having this argument about whether we should condemn. It's the same thing with like the Maduro people who are like, don't condemn Maduro, don't condemn Maduro. Like, what the fuck?
Would you condemn the Jewish uprising in the Warsaw Ghetto? That was a valid.
Yes, it was illegal. I have concerns. I have great concerns.
Please stop. Wait,
why?
I'm straw manning like the left, and even that's too much for Hutch. Like you can't.
You're not straw manning. You're not straw manning.
By the way,
they literally say that. They literally say that. Sorry. Yeah.
Wait. What's the Hassan tweet? What did he say?
He was like, I don't know. He followed it up with saying like, obviously I don't expect politicians to embrace Hamas, but he was basically saying like you shouldn't. He was saying you shouldn't criticize the resistance movement, and that was kind of his position on October 7th. He said like basically no resistance is perfect or whatever, no apartheid resistance is perfect, which is just kind of an insane thing to say.
I've heard it come out like from Mehdi Hassan that when Hassan will say things like, Mehdi Hassan, when asked, do you condemn Hamas? He's stopped doing it because he's already done it so many often, and it's like he thinks that it's like bad. Show of bad faith that they keep asking it and to try to reframe the conversation. I heard that. I don't even agree with that, but that's, I think, different than someone who supports Hamas and like refusing to comment on that. Those are like different things. One is like trying to have the best optical approach to someone asking you perhaps in bad faith to condemn. And the other is like giving a view or refusing to give a view on people who endorse.
So this was in the context of, again, like this was like 3 hours after AOC and Mamdani posted their tweets. So I think he was obviously talking about them.
Evil voter kind of hurts. I know this pissed you off, Hutch, because this motherfucker would not support Kamala for the life of him. Like
not publicly,
he maybe voted for Kamala. Like, I don't know.
Wait, is that him saying he voted for Kamala?
Well, I don't know. Maybe Jill Stein's a lesser evil. We don't know what that means.
Oh, true.
I think he's being tongue in cheek a little bit here, but
you don't think he voted for Kamala?
I mean, no, I do. I do.
I know. Did personally. Honestly.
I mean, I do. I think he understands harm reduction. I think he's audience captured, and so he didn't want to tell his audience.
So why would he even do it?
Well, I mean, whatever. I mean, like, but I think he knew that if he would have told them, like, the correct thing to do, obviously, in 2024 was like, listen, I don't love Kamala. I have differences with her, but we saw how awful Donald Trump was during his first term, and he will very likely be more unhinged and more dangerous the second term. We just cannot afford to allow this man to take power, and the only way to stop him is by voting for Kamala. That is like the bare minimum rhetoric that I think was acceptable in 2024, and just so many people failed that, pass fail, and so, yeah.
We should have Hassan on Live and Learn in person.
Oh yeah, he'd definitely.
Wait, Hutch, you would love a conversation with Hassan.
No, I'm down. But you are laughing at the idea of him thinking he would ever come on this podcast. Yeah,
we're moots. I'll DM him.
Fisco, when's the last time Hassan has done anything adversarial?
I don't know. I don't watch him. What does he do? Does he do anything adversarial?
No,
I don't think he does.
Like I think he was like, he wanted to debate Asmongold, which is like, all right, like I will come back out of my boxing.
Did he debate Kirk like years ago?
He did.
Yes, that's when
Cenk,
and like Cenk stood up and was like,
"I'm a fucking capitalist, Cenk.
I live my life. I live my values every day." Cenk.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, dude. Oh shit,
I was there. I was in the room.
Oh, you were in the crowd?
Yeah, that's
Holy
2019
legendary.
at Politicon in LA.
Hutch, if I went to California, could we do an in-person Hutch episode?
Yeah,
Ooh,
you can come by.
just
for sure.
in the same
I'll clean.
room,
I'll
we have
And
clean my
IRI
apartment.
too. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm pretty close. Hit me
okay,
up.
wait,
Yeah.
if Pisco, if you're gonna come, I'm gonna
Wait,
fucking
should we
find out.
like organize this?
Do it.
We'll
If
message.
you
I'll
guys
message.
listen,
I've
if
been
you guys
meaning
are
to go to
coming-
LA for a while, so if you figure it out,
All right, we'll do it.
I will literally. I'm flexible. I will buy the plane ticket the
All right.
instant you confirm.
We'll do like a week trip LA, and we'll just like have fun and we'll hang out with the boys.
You can go fire my
for everyone. Oh my god!
We can fire my enormous
Very
rifle.
much.
We can fire my
Rifle
not
or
handgun,
pistol?
Handgun.
Yeah. Oh shit.
We
Hutch
could-
is
Oh,
gonna-
the one you were fingering. Yeah. Okay.
That is normal. The normal way to hold a revolver, by the
no
way.
one holds a revolver with their fingers like this. through the cylinder.
100%. I watched many YouTube videos of people showing how to properly load a revolver, and they were gripping it like very sensually.
No. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. You own the
That's what I
gun. You
thought.
probably know better than I do. All right. Well, any last topics, guys? Otherwise, what is going on with you guys this week?
Can I start?
Yeah, Pisco. you
Oh.
can start.
All right, guys. I'm going to do a breakdown stream of Word War Debate. There's going to be a lot of great things. It's going to be Kick exclusive after this. If you want me to turn on the YouTube stream, I need 6 more subs, not gifted subs, individual subs on Kick. And I will open it up and everyone will get to enjoy it. And then I'll get verified, okay? I'll get verified. That's all I want. I just want the check mark. I want the clout. Do you want me to be on more of these things? And so it's very important for 6 of you to individually sub to my Kick channel, and then it will open up and everyone will get a chance to enjoy the memes from Word War Debate.
You
Okay.
like supporting Kick, Pisco? I mean, not to like work against you right now, but Kick is.
It's harm reduction. It's harm reduction. It's harm reduction.
I
Because
have
if I
Twitter Premium. I'm taking the piss.
but you know, that's it. And also this week tomorrow, Wick TV Pisco versus the World. It's like something he
Ooh.
does. That's tomorrow, unspecified, but in the PM. And then Wednesday morning, I'm on with Chud Logic TV at like 10 a.m.
Chud logic. Wait, what?
about the
do
ice
you-
shooting.
Oh, what?
He's
what-
like, mate, he's political, mate. He's fucking Pisco political. That, so, yeah,
Hey,
so
did
we're
you
gonna.
ever? Speaking of annoying accents, did you ever get Drew Pavlov to agree to talk to you?
I'm trying to. I still am continuing to try to do that, and we might get Avi as a fucking moderator, and it might be in person. We'll see, but that's it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if you want to watch Pisco lose in slow motion, go sub to him on.
Oh my god.
Hutch, what's going on with you this week?
I'm gonna be on Sitch and Adam tomorrow talking about the
What?
shoot-
I thought you were
shooting.
banned.
I don't think I was banned.
No, yeah. When I went on, they said Hutch could come on, and
Wait, can I come back on?
yeah, I'm sure we're all
I
open.
can hit
you
him
a-
up and ask him for a 2v2.
Ooh.
I don't know. If
Yo,
that's up to you, if you're banned.
They hate me though. Adam blocked me and they despise me, but I'm willing to do it for you, Hutch. I would love to do that. I love that podcast.
We didn't even talk about we didn't even talk about like the fact that he stepped in front of the car in the first place created the conditions, you know, and we didn't even touch on that. That's good. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anyways. No. Yeah. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing that tomorrow. And then, Vadim wants to debate me again or he's,
Oh.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he asked
That's
me
gonna be great.
potentially to mod that actually. So
That'd be great.
did he
You
really?
You should mod.
Well, yeah, I'm very. I like Vadim. I call him a friend. I'm very charitable, and I understand he's got a lot of live detriments, medical issues, and like I just want to make sure he's getting his thoughts out fairly. But yeah,
Okay. All right. He said he has to compile a lot of receipts on me though first. So we got to give him time.
Oh no.
We got to give him time to get the receipts going. But
He's like Batman with prep time.
yeah, so the Sitch and Adam thing tomorrow is at 11 a.m. my time, 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys want to tune into that, I'll be live for that.
I'm gonna tune into that. I want to see what happens.
Oh, the Kick channel's called Piscolity. Thank you.
All right, Guy, what's going on with you?
Well, this weekend I'm gonna be a rock star, so I'm gonna do my
Nice.
side gig. That's gonna be fun. But
You get paid well for that.
The Offspring?
I'm very happy with how they pay me. Yes.
That's dude, that's such a fucking cush situation you got.
Well,
with
tell
that.
people
That's
where are you
so
doing
crazy.
it? Like, where can they buy tickets? Like, where can they see you live being a rock star?
Well, I don't want to spoil it, so I can't say. But let's just say I get to be a rock star. And then I'm you guys have inspired me to try to set up more talks and stuff like that. So, but today I was talking to the campaign manager of a pretty big congressman.
Hell yeah.
I pitched the pod as well.
Like fat?
But
What? Oh,
but they should be coming on soon and even doing a regular monthly thing with me. So I got some ideas. I've got some ideas.
Chris
So hopefully I'll be
Christie
able
is
to.
coming on the pod.
Chris Christie. Guys, gifted subs don't count. Thank you.
That would be dope. We get Chris Christie. But yeah, no, I'm trying to get more people. But basically, I may have a monthly thing with a congressman on my channel pretty soon.
That'd be awesome.
Pretty cool.
That's sick.
All right,
You deserve it.
He's got, you need to add even more signs into the back of every congressman possible. I don't think I have anything crazy. I've been streaming a game that, most people don't watch me for gaming, but I'm playing the obscure Expedition 33, which Hutch, you said it was really good. I like it, but man, is there tonal whiplash. Oh my God. I'm like worrying about my dead girlfriend. And meanwhile, there's all these dinky little Jar Jar Binks characters running around. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's hard to take seriously. But more politic wise, I'm going on. I said I would do this before and I got canceled, but I'm going on Bar Fight with Michael Knowles on Wednesday in Nashville.
Yo! What?
So that's
What?
me. And I think you might know this guy, Oliver Niehaus. Do you know him, Guy? I think he's been on Jubilee a bunch, but he's like my partner in that. So we're probably going to try to convince Michael Knowles that he's gay and make him come out of the closet.
Convince him he's gay. Gavin McGee.
I've never seen any Republican get so offended by the idea that they might be gay. When I said I liked when he played that gay character in that college, he went on like a 3-minute rant defending it, and I'm like, dude, like, if you don't like,
he played a gay character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think he's closeted. I really do, but that's fine. Being gay is cool. He's the one who has a problem and wants to ban gay marriage. But
why don't you try to hug him a little bit and see if he lingers into it, and you could seduce Michael Knowles, and it could be like a huge thing.
I know Oliver.
Put your body on the line.
Great.
Yeah,
Oliver's great.
So yeah, it's me and Oliver. I don't know if they have Republicans on or it's just Michael Knowles there, but should be fun. Apparently the audience it's literally a bar, so they're gonna get drunk. So that'll be. I'm imagining that'll go as well as World War debate, but maybe
War debate. You say my wife's name right, Christina.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. That's what they say.
Wait, hold on, guys. Before we go, breaking news. We have the first big pollster came out with an opinion poll about how Americans feel about the ICE shooting.
Oh, right.
Don't cheat. Just guess.
What? 50.
I already read it because Josiah showed me.
Okay, then everybody else guess if you have.
I'm gonna guess 50. Well, no. I'm gonna say 47 against, 42 in favor. The rest not sure.
Guy.
I'd say it's probably split like 45-45. I feel like people are half and half on this.
28% of Americans think the ICE shooting was justified. 53%
Whoa!
think that the ICE agent should face criminal charges.
Whoa!
Wow.
Normies win again.
Yeah, obviously, because
is-
it's fucking illegal. Murder!
I would have guessed the same as you guys, by the way. I was kind of shocked when I just saw
Yeah,
this.
I was surprised. I forgot to bring it up, but this is. I mean, it's not good situation, but it is good that like, holy shit, we're not as crazy as I thought we were.
They do not
Who did
have
the
control as YouGov, so I mean, it's not just like some pollster.
YouGov's not that great.
Really?
But okay.
Okay.
Yeah. YouGov's I think
I'll
it's
cite it.
entirely done online, right? It's internet based. Yeah.
Huh.
It's like a C. It's like a C tier, C+ tier.
YouGov? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them
Oh.
up there in the big boys. I don't think I've ever heard someone say that YouGov nailed it on something.
Huh.
But it's
Okay.
something. It's data. Don't get me wrong.
It's data.
Well, here's the anecdote that backs up the data is that I've talked to MAGA people, a couple MAGA people, and they see this video and they're like, "You shouldn't have done that. That wasn't right." So you know what? I think this is like this is like this is the moment that Hutch has been talking about, where it's like when they really show who they are, people are fucking disgusted, and you can't cult your way into it once there are material harms, literally people getting shot in the face on camera. Like most people don't like that. I think this is a good sign that the public is not fully bought into Trump as much as he wins them over on the talking points. It's like when it really hurts people, they hate it.
Well, we're also just being inundated with like, because they flooded Minneapolis. There are thousands of ICE agents in Minneapolis, and so there's dozens of videos that you can find of these thugs like just acting like complete unprofessional lunatic bullies, and people don't like that. And so I think there's probably other things that are influencing these numbers as well.
That's why I was curious what you guys thought about Democrats shutting down the government unless there are concessions made on DHS, like training and, you know, some concessions on what they can and can't do. But
Yeah, reverse the profiling ruling from the Supreme Court.
Why do
Anyway,
none of the anti-Pisco chats show up on screen? It might be because Hutch like streams into it, right?
Yeah,
And
I
so
do.
you're-
Yeah.
So all the anti-me stuff isn't coming up.
Let's see. Does this show up? I had Pisco in my message.
There it is.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey.
Go check out everyone's stuff. I will see you next week, and good luck on your thing tomorrow, Hutch. I hope it.
Good luck.
You show Adam and Stitch what for, because they are very obstinate. So
Should be fun.
bye,
All right.
guys.
Stay cool.